Hi, my name is Marco, and today we are going to spread the word of the Lord. The word that endures forever, Isaiah 40. The grass withers, the flowers fall, but the word of our God endures forever. Evening falls. The sky fades into a quiet shade of indigo. The wind softens, the day exhales, and the soul leans into stillness. And in this hush, in this sacred pause between daylight and night, there echoes a whisper that has never lost its strength. The word of the Lord endures forever. The world moves, people rush, voices rise and fall, trends change, empires come and go. Yet there is something more permanent than stone, stronger than storms, more constant than the turning of the seasons. It is the word of God. Everything else fades, but his voice remains. His word stands, unshaken and eternal, like a mighty mountain beneath all shifting sands. The prophet Isaiah looked upon a world much like ours, fragile, fleeting, filled with uncertainty. And yet, even as he saw how grass withers and flowers fall, he was given a word that would stand through generations. But the word of our God endures forever. Not for a moment, not for a season, forever. Let your heart rest in that tonight. Because you see, you are surrounded daily by words from news feeds, from social media, from passing conversations, from anxious thoughts within your own heart. Some words stir fear. Others wound. Some distract, some demand. But none of them hold the weight of eternity like his word does. His word carries light. His word carries peace. His word carries truth that does not fade, even in the deepest night. Come, let your spirit quiet itself beneath this word tonight. All people are like grass, and all their faithfulness is like the flowers of the field. The grass withers and the flowers fall, because the breath of the Lord blows on them. Surely the people are grass. Isaiah 40 verses 6-7. What a humbling reminder. We are fragile, fleeting, momentary in our own strength. But this is not a message of despair. It is a message of contrast. For while we are frail, he is faithful. While we are fleeting, he is eternal. While we pass like vapor, his presence remains. You may feel the brevity of life. You may feel time slipping through your fingers. You may even feel forgotten amidst the turning wheels of the world. But the Lord whispers over you tonight, I see you. I know you. I do not forget. And my word remains over you, unchanged. There is comfort in that. Deep comfort. Because if his word remains, then so do his promises. Every promise he has spoken still stands. When he said, I will never leave you nor forsake you, he meant it forever. When he said, I have loved you with an everlasting love, he meant it eternally. When he said, You are mine, that truth was engraved in heaven's stone. Even if time shifts, even if your circumstances unravel, his word holds. Tonight, let your heart return to that enduring word, not to the worries of tomorrow, not to the regrets of yesterday, but to the quiet power of what God has already spoken. Lift your eyes. You who bring good news to Zion, go up on a high mountain. You who bring good news to Jerusalem, lift up your voice with a shout. Say to the towns of Judah, Here is your God. Isaiah 40 verse 9. Here is your God. Do you see him? Not just in the pages of Scripture, but in the hush of this moment. Not in loud performance or chaotic noise, but in the stillness where he meets the soul. Here is your God, the one who comes not merely with words, but with power. See, the sovereign Lord comes with power, and he rules with a mighty arm. See, his reward is with him, and his recompense accompanies him. He does not arrive empty-handed. He does not approach you in weakness. He comes with power, not a harsh, domineering power, but a power clothed in mercy and majesty, a power that carries peace into the shadows of your heart. And how does he use this power? Not to intimidate, but to tend. He tends his flock like a shepherd. He gathers the lambs in his arms and carries them close to his heart. He gently leads those that have young. Isaiah 40 verse 11. Let that image settle deep in your spirit tonight. The one who shaped galaxies is the same one who gathers you gently in his arms. The same hand that formed the stars reaches to carry you. He holds you close to his heart, not at a distance, not with reluctance, but with the warmth of a shepherd's love. You are not alone. You are not unseen. You are not forgotten in the night. You are held. The breath of God may blow upon the grass and flowers, reminding the world of its impermanence, but that same breath has spoken life over you. That same breath has breathed into the words that do not fade. Even now, the shepherd walks into your weariness and gathers you in. And perhaps tonight you feel weak, tired from carrying too much, from fighting unseen battles, from simply enduring the day. The shepherd knows. And he does not push you to be stronger. He gathers you. He carries you. He leads you gently. Let him. Let go of the weight and lean into the arms that never grow weary. This is not a love that demands perfection. This is not a strength that waits for you to earn comfort. This is grace. This is mercy. This is your God. And still Isaiah asks us, who has measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, or with the breadth of his hand marked off the heavens? You live beneath skies stretched by his fingers. You breathe air held within the span of his hand. The sea, the sky, the mountains, he holds them all. Can he not hold you too? Who has held the dust of the earth in a basket, or weighed the mountains on the scales and the hills in a balance? What feels too heavy for you is not heavy for him. What feels too vast, too tangled, too broken, he can carry. You are not meant to carry it all. You are meant to rest in the one who does. You were made to be held by the hands that shaped everything you see. When you pass through the waters, Isaiah 43, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. These are not just words etched in ancient scripture. They are a living promise, a whisper of divine assurance that echoes through every storm, every river, every flood of sorrow or fear. When the waters rise and the waves seem to threaten all that you are, there is one who walks with you. Not distant, not passive, not merely observing from the heavens above, but present, steady, near. And perhaps tonight, as your heart rests beneath the weight of silent burdens, you find yourself in the waters. Waters of uncertainty. Waters of grief. Waters of exhaustion from a journey too long and a road too heavy. Maybe you've tried to swim through it with your own strength, only to feel the current pulling you further under. But even here, the voice of the Lord speaks clearly, gently, like a lighthouse breaking through the mist. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. Notice, dear heart, he does not say if. He says when. He knows these waters will come. He knows the trials that rise like rivers around your feet. He knows the fire and flood alike. And yet he does not leave you to face them alone. His presence is not conditional. His faithfulness is not circumstantial. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. There is a comfort in that holy nearness. A quiet strength in knowing that even when everything around you is shifting, there is one who does not shift. The tide may rise, but he remains. The waves may roar, but his voice is louder still. And when the waters try to speak fear into your heart, his word answers, Fear not, for I have redeemed you, I have called you by name. You are mine. Oh, how deeply this changes everything. You are not nameless in the storm. You are not forgotten in the flood. You are known, intimately, intricately, eternally. He who formed you in your mother's womb, who knit you together with divine intention, now stands beside you in the depths of your pain and says, You are mine. There is no place the waters can take you that his hand cannot reach. There is no depth too deep, no current too strong, no sorrow too heavy that can separate you from his presence. Even when you cannot feel him, even when your soul is too tired to lift a prayer, he is still there. Silent perhaps, but never absent. Hidden perhaps, but never far. Sometimes his nearness is not loud. Sometimes it does not come with parted seas or thunder from heaven. Sometimes it is a quiet breath beside your ache, a stillness that holds you when the world around you trembles. It is a peace that surpasses understanding, not because the waters have calmed, but because his presence is greater than the storm. And you, beloved, you are not alone. Tonight, let the truth of his word be your anchor. Let it settle like a balm over your weary heart. You may feel surrounded by tides of worry, by waves of sorrow, but you are more deeply surrounded by his mercy. His grace is deeper than the waters that threaten you. His love is stronger than the current that tries to pull you under. Take a breath. Not because the flood has passed, but because you are not facing it alone. The one who walks on water walks beside you. The one who calms the sea calms your soul. The one who split the Red Sea to make a path for his people is the same one who now holds you steady in the midnight hour. He does not promise ease, but he promises presence. He does not promise you will not walk through waters, but he promises you will not walk them alone. And in the hush of this moment, let your heart remember the stories he has already written into the waves. Think of Israel at the edge of the Red Sea, hemmed in by impossibility. Water ahead, armies behind. No escape. No way forward. But God, in his glory, did not remove the waters, he made a way through them. He parted what could not be parted, and his people walked through on dry ground. What was meant to drown them became a path beneath their feet. So it is with you. What seems insurmountable today may be the very place where he makes a path. What looks like the end may become the place of new beginnings. What feels like drowning may become the testimony of his deliverance. He will not always take you around the waters, but he will surely take you through them. Through the deep places of your story, he walks. Through the grief you carry quietly. Through the disappointment that lingers long after the tears have dried. Through the ache of unanswered prayers and silent nights. Through every unknown and every shattered expectation, he walks with you. And with each step, his presence is your shield. His spirit is your strength. His word is your compass. His promises do not fail in the flood, they are forged in it. You are learning, not how to avoid the waters, but how to trust the one who commands them. His faithfulness does not fade in the flood, it shines all the brighter. Perhaps you cannot yet see the other side. Perhaps the water is too high and your vision too blurred by tears. But faith does not require sight. Faith remembers who walks with you. Faith holds on, not to understanding, but to his hand. You are not walking to destruction, you are walking through deliverance. You are not walking alone, you are walking held. You are not forgotten, you are fiercely remembered by the one who calls you his own. Even now, his spirit whispers softly over your weary heart, I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. Even now, his peace stretches out like a river around your soul. Even now, he is making a way where there seems to be none. So do not fear the waters, beloved. Fear not the depth, nor the darkness, nor the silence. Your God is near. And when you cannot walk, he will carry you. When your strength fails, his will not. When your words run dry, his promises still speak. When you pass through the waters, he will be with you. Let that truth cradle you tonight. Let it become the gentle tide that carries you into rest. Let it be your song in the night, your courage in the storm, your peace in the flood. You are not alone. You are not forsaken. You are held. And the waters will not overcome you. There is a peculiar kind of grace that only reveals itself in the storm. A tenderness that blooms not in the absence of struggle, but in the presence of it. It is the grace that meets you at your lowest point, the grace that steadies your trembling heart when you feel the cold rush of deep waters press against your chest. It is here, in these sacred depths, that you come to know the strength of the one who walks with you. You begin to understand not just the idea of his presence, but the reality of it. Not just the concept of comfort, but the lived experience of peace that surpasses understanding. For in the silence beneath the waves, his voice grows clearer. In the darkness of trial, his light glows brighter. In the uncertainty of the journey, his steadfastness becomes your anchor. You were never meant to carry this journey alone. You were never meant to bear the weight of life's trials in your own strength. That's why he walks beside you. That's why he whispers to your soul when the world gets loud. That's why he promises again and again, Fear not, for I have redeemed you, I have called you by name, you are mine. And oh, how powerful those words are, you are mine. Not a passing thought, not an afterthought, not forgotten in the crowd, but seen, chosen, cherished. He does not merely tolerate your presence, he delights in it. He does not simply notice you, he knows you fully, deeply, entirely. And he calls you his. What comfort there is in knowing that you belong, not to your fear, not to your failure, not to your circumstance, but to the one who cannot fail, the one who holds the universe in his hands and yet holds your heart with gentleness. The one who stilled the seas with a word also calms the storm inside you. The one who commands the winds also speaks peace over your anxious thoughts. The one who split the Red Sea for his people can part the chaos before you now. And even if he does not part the waters, he will walk you through them. For the miracle is not always in the removal of the storm, it is often in the presence of God within it. There is holy ground in the midst of hardship. There is sacred space in the trial where God reveals himself more tenderly, more intimately, than he ever could in ease. And those who walk through the waters with him come to know him in ways they never could from the shore. He is not just a rescuer, he is a companion. Not just a deliverer, he is a shepherd who walks at your side. Not just a king enthroned in heaven, but a Savior who draws near in suffering. And in every wave, every fire, every burden, every battle, you are not forsaken. Perhaps even now, you are standing at the edge of the waters, feeling the pull of fear, hearing the echo of uncertainty, wondering if you have the strength to keep walking. And if you do, hear this, you were never meant to walk in your strength. You walk in his. You walk in the strength of the one who formed you in the secret place. You walk in the strength of the one who knit you together with love and purpose. You walk in the strength of the one who carved your name on the palms of his hands. You are not walking into the unknown, you are walking into a place already filled with his presence. And wherever he is, there is peace. Even when the journey is long. Even when the answers don't come. Even when your heart aches and your spirit feels faint. Still, there is peace. Because he is with you. Let your heart be still in that truth. Let your soul unclench its fists and exhale in the comfort of that promise. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to hold yourself together. You don't have to be strong enough, brave enough, or wise enough. You simply have to rest in him. And trust that he is. Trust that he is the strength you lack. Trust that he is the clarity you seek. Trust that he is the peace you need. Trust that he is the hand reaching out through the waves to hold you. And when you can't take another step, he will carry you. When your knees give out beneath the weight, his arms will lift you. When your heart falters in fear, his presence will sustain you. Beloved, don't measure the safety of the path by how calm the waters appear. Measure it by the presence of the one who walks with you. The storm may rage, but if he is with you, then you are safe. The fire may burn, but if he is by your side, you are secure. Because he is not only your guide, he is your refuge. He is your hiding place. He is the quiet beneath the roar, the stillness in the storm, the peace that steadies your soul when everything else feels uncertain. And in time, you will look back and see how he carried you. You will see how every wave that threatened to drown you became a wave that drove you deeper into his love. You will see how the fire refined you, how the trial shaped you, how the waters didn't destroy you, but led you into a deeper place of trust. For this is what he does. He takes what was meant to harm you and uses it to heal you. He takes what was sent to break you and uses it to build you. He takes what you feared would end you and uses it to strengthen you. You are not drowning, dear soul. You are being carried. You are not lost. You are being led. You are not abandoned. You are being held, tenderly, completely, perfectly, by the one whose love knows no bounds. And when you pass through the waters, you will come through. Because he is with you. Because he is faithful. Because he is enough. Because he is God. The shepherd who watches through the night. Psalm 121. He who keeps you will not slumber. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. When the night falls and silence wraps the earth, when the world grows still and shadows stretch long across the walls of our hearts, there is one who does not sleep. When your bed becomes a place of tossing and turning, and your soul wanders through the dim corridors of worry, there is one who is ever alert, ever watching, ever guarding, ever keeping you. Lift your eyes now, dear heart. Look higher than the ceiling of your room. Look beyond the roof that shelters you. Look above the darkness that presses around you. Lift your gaze to the hills, to the heavens, to the one from whom your help comes. He is your keeper, your guardian, your shepherd through the watches of the night. And he does not sleep. Not once has he closed his eyes to rest. Not once has he grown weary of watching over you. Not once has his gaze shifted from your life. You may feel alone in the midnight hour, but you are not unseen. The shepherd who never slumbers is near. He walks through every shadowed valley you face. He knows every anxious breath. He hears every sigh. He catches every tear before it falls. He stands beside your bed even now, like a tender father watching over his child, protecting, comforting, covering you in peace. The world sleeps, but he watches. Your shepherd's eyes are full of light, even in the darkest hour. His hand stretches over you like a canopy of grace. He holds your soul steady while the winds howl and the storms rage. No evil can creep past his watch. No sorrow can take you beyond his reach. No enemy can ambush the one he guards. You are not vulnerable in the night, for you are under his keeping. Even if your thoughts wander to the worst-case scenarios, even if fear tightens its grip on your chest, even if memories stir that ache with pain, still he is there. Still he is watching. Still he is whispering comfort over your soul. Be still, he says. I am here. He watches not with cold indifference, but with loving attention. He watches not from a distance, but close, closer than breath. He watches not only to observe, but to protect, to shelter, to guide you safely through. His nearness is not dependent on your awareness. Even if your eyes grow dim with tears, his presence surrounds you like a warm blanket pulled over weary shoulders. Even if you cannot feel him, he has not left. Even if you cannot hear him, he is still speaking peace. And he will not abandon his post. He does not slumber when you cry. He does not slumber when your heart breaks. He does not slumber when your soul is aching for rest. When sleep escapes you, he does not grow frustrated. When your mind replays fears and regrets, he does not grow impatient. When your prayers feel small and broken, he leans in closer. He bends low to listen to the whisper of your heart. You don't have to hold yourself together in the night. You don't have to pretend to be strong. You don't have to carry every worry on your own shoulders. The shepherd carries you. He holds you when you tremble. He gently gathers every scattered thought and brings them into his peace. The Lord is your keeper. He is not simply watching over the events of your life. He is watching over your very soul. He keeps your heart when grief threatens to undo you. He keeps your mind when anxiety rushes in like a flood. He keeps your spirit when despair tries to settle in. His keeping is not passive. It is powerful, active, tender, fierce, constant. The one who made the stars does not lose sight of you. The one who upholds galaxies does not forget your name. The one who never sleeps sings lullabies of comfort over you while the world lies still. Can you hear it now, beloved? That quiet song of protection, that gentle melody of presence, that divine whisper threading through your night, saying, I am with you. I am for you. I am keeping you. You are not out of his reach. You are not forgotten in the shadows. You are not wandering alone in the dark. Even when your body feels weak and your soul feels weary, you are not left to fend for yourself. The shepherd walks beside you through every nighttime valley. He guards your heart with peace. He shelters your soul with his love. There is no shadow he cannot dispel. There is no fear he cannot calm. There is no storm he cannot still. And when the night feels long, longer than your strength can endure, remember this: he is walking through it with you. He is not waiting for morning to draw near to you. He is near in the night. He is near in the ache. He is near in the questions. He is near in the silence. When you whisper prayers that feel like fragments, he receives them with joy. When you sigh in exhaustion, he understands. When you weep quietly, he holds every tear like a treasure. The Lord is not absent from your sorrow. He is not distant in your weakness. He does not flinch at your frailty. He does not turn away when you are afraid. He comes closer. He leans in. He surrounds you. Even now, his presence is hovering over you like a soft covering. Even now, his hands are stretched out in blessing. Even now, he is placing peace upon your heart like a seal. You do not need to find your way through the night alone. You are not expected to be your own guide, your own protector, your own source of peace. You have a shepherd. You have a guardian. You have a keeper who never slumbers and never leaves. He is watching over your life. You're going out and you're coming in. You're rising and you're resting. You're breathing and you're breaking. He watches over it all. Not a single moment escapes his gaze. Not a single fear escapes his notice. Not a single need escapes his care. Even now, as you rest your head on the pillow, the shepherd is near. He is surrounding you with unseen angels. He is speaking comfort into your spirit. He is silencing the voice of fear with the power of His word. He is covering you with His wings. You are not defenseless in the dark. You are deeply guarded. You are not abandoned. You are seen, known, kept, and loved. So breathe, beloved. Breathe deep and slow. You are not alone in the night. You are not without help. You are not without hope. You are under the watchful eye of the Shepherd, and He will not sleep. And even as you sleep, yes, even as your eyes finally close and your breathing begins to slow, the Shepherd remains awake. His keeping does not pause when your mind drifts into dreams. His guardianship does not flicker or fade in the hours you are unaware. He is the keeper of your soul both in waking and in rest, both in action and in stillness. The Shepherd does not clock out when the night deepens. He does not grow weary of your need. He does not grow tired of holding you. He watches through the darkest watches of the night. He sees the silent hours when no one else is around. He beholds your vulnerability and covers it with His strength. He sees you in your fragility and surrounds you with His grace. And while your body lies quiet and motionless, your spirit remains wrapped in His care. You do not need to worry about what might come while you sleep. You do not need to brace yourself for dangers you cannot see. You do not need to fight battles that are beyond your reach. For your Shepherd is near. His staff and His rod are still beside you. His vigilance does not fade in your slumber. Yes, even now, He is surrounding your room with His presence. Even now, He is commanding His angels concerning you. Even now, He is tending to the unseen details of your life with wisdom and mercy. You may be asleep, but He is not idle. He is still working. He is still moving on your behalf. He is still making a way in the unseen. He is still pouring peace into your spirit. He is still preparing your path for tomorrow. He is still protecting you from what you do not even know could harm you. This is the beauty of your Shepherd. He does not leave you in the night. He does not abandon you when your defenses are down. He does not wait for daylight to care for you. He is always there, always near, always keeping watch. And oh, how tender is His watchfulness! Not like a soldier scanning with suspicion, but like a shepherd whose heart beats with affection for every sheep in his fold. His gaze is full of love, full of warmth, full of divine attentiveness. He sees you not just as a number in the flock, but as His beloved one, known by name, marked by His grace. Even your breath matters to Him. Even the rhythm of your heartbeat is seen by Him. Even the heaviness in your soul is carried by Him. The Shepherd does not overlook your ache. He does not minimize your sorrow. He does not rush past your tears. He is the God who keeps you, not casually, but continually, not distantly, but intimately. And when you wake in the early morning hours, when the world still lies in a hushed stillness and the sky is still dressed in pre-dawn gray, He is still there. He was with you in the shadows, and He will be with you in the sunrise. He was your keeper in the night, and He will be your helper in the day. You need not be afraid of what lies ahead. You need not dread what the future holds. You need not carry the weight of every tomorrow. The Shepherd is already there, already present, already holding your path in His hands. And He is not just watching your external steps, He is keeping your soul. Yes, your soul, your most sacred place, the inner sanctuary of your being, the part of you that aches and hopes, fears and trusts, trembles and worships, the part of you that no one else can fully see or understand. That part is most precious to Him. He keeps your soul from weariness. He keeps your soul from drowning in despair. He keeps your soul from being crushed beneath the weight of sorrow. He guards your inner world. He shelters your heart. He shields your mind. He protects your peace, not by removing every storm, but by anchoring you in His presence through every gust of wind and wave. And how faithful is His keeping! He will not let your foot slip. He will not let your path fall into ruin. He will not let you be destroyed by the night. Even when trials rise like mountains, He is your strength. Even when fears swell like oceans, He is your anchor. Even when loss knocks the wind from your chest, He is your breath. And as you go about your day, when the sunlight filters in and life resumes its rhythm, remember, the same Shepherd who watched you through the night walks with you in the light. His keeping does not end with dawn. His care does not expire with sunrise. No, He will watch over your coming and going. He will walk beside you through crowded streets and quiet corners. He will guide you in moments of clarity and confusion. He will hold your hand in joy and in sorrow. Your life is not left to chance. Your story is not unfolding unattended. Your journey is not moving forward in isolation. The keeper of your soul is present in every moment. He is not merely watching, He is involved. He is not simply observing, He is leading. He is not distantly analyzing, He is gently guiding. And His keeping is not just for the now, it is eternal. He is keeping you not just through this day, not just through this night, but through every day and every night that follows. Through every chapter. Through every season. Through every valley and mountaintop. Through every breath of your life until you arrive safely in the eternal fold of His presence forevermore. The Lord will keep you from all harm, not because harm will never touch you, but because harm will never have the final word. Suffering may come, but it cannot separate you from His love. Loss may strike, but it cannot remove you from His hand. Trials may rise, but they cannot overturn His keeping grace. And so, beloved soul, rest in this truth. You are watched over. You are protected. You are cradled in sovereign care. You are kept by the One who never slumbers. Sleep now in peace. Live now in trust. Walk now in confidence. For the shepherd who watches through the night, watches still. The shepherd who watches through the night, Psalm 121. I lift up my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the Maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, He who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. In the quiet hours when the world feels hushed beneath a veil of shadows, when the stars hang silently in the sky and the weight of worry presses softly against the heart, there is one who does not slumber. He does not turn away, nor grow weary with time. He is the shepherd who watches through the night. He is not like the weary watchmen of this world, who blink heavy eyes or miss a moment in their vigil. No, this shepherd never blinks, never falters, never grows tired. While you sleep, He guards. While you rest, He remains awake. While you dream, He is drawing near. His presence does not grow dim with the dusk. Rather, it burns steady like a lantern beside your soul. Even now, He watches over you. He sees the burdens you carried through the day, the heaviness that found no words, the sighs you released in silence. He remembers every tear you wiped quickly before anyone could see. And in the stillness, He whispers peace to your heart. I will not let your foot slip, He says. You may feel unsure, unsteady, uncertain, but He holds you firm. Not with a clenched grip of force, but with the steady strength of love. You may tremble, but He remains sure. You may lose your footing, but He never loses you. The shepherd's eyes are never closed. His heart is never distracted. He knows every path you've walked, every valley you've crossed, every wilderness you've wandered. And still He leads. Gently, lovingly. He calls your name in the night, not with a shout, but with a whisper of belonging. The psalmist says, He will not let your foot slip. It is a promise wrapped in the tenderness of providence. Even when life feels uneven, even when you are unsure of your next step, His hands uphold you. He steadies your path, even in the dark. And not only that, He stands as your shade, your shield, your protector. When the sun scorches with the heat of pressure, when the demands of the day feel like fire on your skin, He covers you. When the moon brings the chill of anxiety or the haunting of thoughts that echo louder in the night, He is your comfort. The shepherd knows what it means to watch. He has watched over saints and sinners, over kings and shepherd boys, over the weak and the strong. He has watched over you from the moment breath filled your lungs, from the first flutter of your heart in the womb. And He watches still. His watch is not passive, it is attentive. It is vigilant. It is full of care. Even now, as the darkness wraps around your home, His light is near. Even now, as your eyelids grow heavy, His presence surrounds you. He will keep you from harm, not just harm that touches the body, but harm that seeks the soul. He shields your spirit from despair. He guards your heart from fear. He surrounds you with peace not born from circumstance, but from His nearness. You are not alone in the night. You are not forgotten in the stillness. You are not vulnerable to the shadows. The shepherd watches. He knows. He stays. He protects. Lift up your eyes, dear soul, not in fear but in hope. For your help comes not from the hills, not from the strength of your own striving, but from the Lord, the Maker of heaven and earth. The one who holds galaxies in place and still chooses to keep watch over you. The night cannot undo His promises. The silence cannot silence His voice. The shepherd is here. Let your heart be still in His keeping. The God who sees you, Genesis 16 verse 13. She gave this name to the Lord who spoke to her. You are the God who sees me, for she said, I have now seen the one who sees me. In the wilderness of loneliness, in the quiet ache of invisibility, in the shadows where tears fall unnoticed, there is one who sees you. Not just the surface of your life, not just the outer shell that the world watches, but the tender, trembling heart within. He sees you, not in passing, not from a distance, but intimately, fully, lovingly. He is El Roi, the God who sees. He saw Hagar, the outcast woman running through the desert, burdened by rejection and pain. He saw her not as the world saw her, not as a servant girl cast aside, but as a soul worthy of divine encounter. And He sees you now, wherever you are. Whether you are running from something or wandering through a barren season, you are not hidden. You are not overlooked. The God who sees has never taken His eyes off you. There is a sacred comfort in knowing you are seen. Seen in your silence. Seen in your sorrow. Seen in the hours you cry behind closed doors, in the battles you fight beneath a composed exterior. He sees the nights when sleep escapes you. He sees the prayers you cannot form with words. He sees the questions you whisper only in your heart. He sees, and He cares. When no one notices your faithfulness, when no one applauds your quiet service, when your sacrifices go unseen by others, He sees. The unnoticed kindness, the unseen act of mercy, the prayer whispered for a hurting friend, none of it is missed by Him. Every tear is counted, every burden weighed, every hope held with tenderness in His gaze. To be seen by God is to be known, and to be known by God is to be loved in the deepest, most profound way. You are not a face in the crowd to Him. You are not another voice in a sea of prayers. You are cherished, remembered, called by name. His seeing is not passive, it is active love. He does not merely observe your pain, He enters into it. He draws near. He meets you by the well of your weariness, just as He met Hagar. He speaks life into your desolate places. He refreshes your soul with living water. He gives you a future when you thought you were forgotten. Even when you feel invisible to the world, you are radiant in His sight. His eyes are not like human eyes, which glance quickly and move on. His gaze is steady, unwavering, compassionate. His eyes hold you, not with judgment, but with grace. You may not understand your journey. You may not see the road ahead. But rest in this truth. The God who sees you also leads you. He does not only witness your pain, He redeems it. He does not only observe your journey, He walks beside you. His seeing is a promise of presence, a pledge of nearness. And when you begin to believe the lie that you are forgotten, remember the desert, remember the well, remember the voice that called Hagar by name. Let that story echo in your spirit. You are seen. You are known. You are loved. You are not merely a spectator in the grand movement of life. You are part of the narrative He watches over with tenderness. You are not overlooked in the crowd of humanity. He knows your story by heart. He watches each chapter unfold with care, writing redemption into the lines you thought were written in sorrow. There are no unseen moments to the one who shaped the stars. Every sigh, every ache, every quiet act of courage, He sees it all. He cherishes what others may dismiss. In His eyes, nothing about you is insignificant. He sees you when you rise, and when you lie down. He sees you in the middle of your ordinary days and in the depths of your extraordinary struggles. He sees the dreams you've shelved and the wounds you've hidden. He sees the weight you carry and the resilience you've built. He sees the child within you, still hoping, still longing. And when the world feels deaf to your pain, when your heart cries out for someone to notice, to care, to understand, He answers, not just with acknowledgement, but with intimacy. He wraps His presence around you and whispers, "I see you, my beloved. I see you, and I am with you." A table in the presence of my enemies. Psalm 23 verse 5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. There is a hush in the valley, a calm in the chaos, a holy presence even in the midst of surrounding shadows. The enemies may press near, the storm may howl, but still, there is a table. Set not in the absence of battle, but in the very heart of it. Prepared not after the war has passed, but in the thick of it. And this table is not just any table, it is the Lord's table, set by His own hands, laden with peace, overflowing with grace. This is the mystery of Psalm 23. Not that God removes every threat, but that He reveals Himself as our host even in the tension. He does not merely shield you from your enemies, He invites you to sit down in their presence. He does not wait until the darkness lifts. He lights a candle in the midst of it. He sets a feast for your soul even as trouble surrounds you. There is a place for you, child of God, right here at the table. A seat marked by mercy, a plate filled with goodness, a cup that never runs dry. And though the eyes of your enemies may linger, they cannot take what He has given you. They may scorn, but they cannot steal. They may threaten, but they cannot touch the abundance that flows from His hand to your heart. This table is a declaration. It is the King's declaration that you are His. It is His way of saying, "Even here, I am with you. Even now, I provide. Even while the enemy watches, I bless you." It is His way of drawing near when fear would have you flee. It is His invitation to dwell, not just to endure, but to rest in His presence. And look how He anoints you. Not only does He seat you, He honors you. He pours oil upon your head, the sacred symbol of favor, healing, and consecration. The oil runs down in blessing, covering the places wounded by warfare, soothing the sore places of the soul. He calls you chosen, beloved, anointed in the presence of all that rises against you. Your cup overflows. Not just full, overflowing. Not just enough, abundance. This is the nature of your shepherd, the heart of your God. He does not ration His goodness, He lavishes it. He does not give sparingly, He pours until you are drenched in grace. Even while trials press in, blessings overflow. So sit at the table. Let your enemies see, not your strength, but His. Let them witness your peace, your praise, your provision. Let them behold the grace that steadies you when fear whispers, the joy that sings when sorrow lingers. Let them see the shepherd who prepares a table in the valley and fills it with heavenly delight. You are not abandoned. You are honored. You are not forgotten. You are invited. This is the testimony of the table. This is the power of presence. And here, in the sacred tension between adversity and assurance, you will feast in peace. A table in the presence of my enemies. Psalm 23 verse 5, You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Even in the valley, even in the battle, a table is prepared for you. Not in the absence of trouble, but in the very midst of it, God sets out peace, nourishment, rest. The enemy may surround, but the invitation still stands. Come, sit, feast, rest, for I am with you. There is something breathtakingly beautiful about the presence of God in the middle of hardship. When the winds howl and shadows grow tall, when fear creeps in and burdens tighten around your chest, there, in that very place, God spreads a table. A table not of mere survival, but of abundance. Not of scraps to keep you going, but a feast that satisfies the soul. Not rushed, not shallow, not hasty, but slow, rich, sacred. This is not a table hurriedly thrown together in retreat. This is a royal table. A table set by the hands of your shepherd king. The one who knows every tear you've cried, every wound you've carried, every enemy that has ever risen against your soul. And still, He prepares a place for you to sit. A place to be restored. A place to receive. Do Do you see it? In the presence of your enemies, not after the battle, not once it's over, but in the very midst of opposition, he prepares a table. When your strength feels spent and your heart worn thin, there is a seat prepared. When your mind races with anxiety and your soul aches with heaviness, there is bread that satisfies. When rejection echoes louder than truth and fear tries to choke hope, there is a cup overflowing. God does not wait until the storm passes to be your portion. He does not wait for all things to feel calm before he speaks peace. He sets a feast in the very middle of the fire, in the thick of it, in the tension and noise and ache. He meets you right there, not as a distant observer, but as a loving host, a shepherd, a father, a king. And this is what he whispers: "Come and eat. Come and drink. I am your portion. I am your rest. I am your peace in the presence of your enemies." Pause here. Let your heart settle into that truth. God does not remove all enemies before he blesses you. He blesses you right in their sight. His goodness is not dependent on the removal of trouble. His goodness is magnified in the midst of it. The table he prepares is not a consolation, it is a declaration. It is a defiant act of love in the presence of threat. It is an anchor of grace, an altar of communion. It is the King saying, "You are mine, and I will nourish you in the face of the accuser." This is your table. Not because you earned it, not because you deserve it, but because he is good and he calls you beloved. The enemy may surround, but you are seated in the presence of your shepherd. And in his presence, fear has no authority. In his presence, torment must bow. In his presence, your cup overflows, not with anxiety, but with anointing. Not with despair, but with mercy. Not with dread, but with the abundance of his love. Even in the presence of what tries to steal your peace cannot be stolen. Because the one who prepares the table is the one who commands the wind and waves. And the one who fills your cup is the one who conquered death. He is not shaken, and he will not let you go. So come to the table. Come with your weariness. Come with your battles. Come with the ache that words can't describe. Come with the weight you've been carrying in silence. Come with the questions that don't yet have answers. Come with the heart that still trembles. You are welcome here. There is space for you. There is grace for you. There is rest for you. And your shepherd waits, not with condemnation, not with frustration, but with open hands and a table full of peace. He pours the cup. He anoints your head. He fills your soul. He stills your mind. He lifts your eyes. And in his presence, your enemies lose their grip. Not because they have vanished, but because your heart has found something deeper. Something stronger. Something eternal. You are not at the mercy of your surroundings when you are at the table of your shepherd. His presence becomes your shield. His peace becomes your portion. His voice becomes your melody in the night. His strength becomes your covering. And while the enemy may glare, he cannot touch what God has set apart. The table is not a temporary reprieve, it is a permanent reminder. You are loved. You are kept. You are held. So linger here a while. Sit longer. Let the wine of his presence soak through your soul. Let the bread of his word nourish your inner being. Let his spirit whisper peace over every anxious thought. Let him anoint your head again, not with the oil of striving, but with the oil of rest. And let your soul breathe. You are safe here. You are seen here. You are known here. You are fed here. You are healed here. Because the one who sets this table sits with you. He does not stand afar. He does not merely serve and leave. He dwells with you in the presence of your enemies. And that is where the victory begins, not with the enemy's retreat, but with your soul's renewal. The heart God heals. The Lord is near to the broken-hearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34 verse 18. When the night is quiet and your heart feels heavy, there is a presence nearer than your breath, gentler than the whisper of wind, deeper than the ache in your chest. The Lord does not stand distant from pain. He steps into it. He does not withdraw from sorrow, he draws near. He does not avoid the broken places. He dwells in them, tenderly, patiently, healing what others might overlook or pass by. There is no wound too deep for him. No fracture too complex. No ache too long held. Where the world moves quickly past the hurting, God moves gently toward them. He does not rush your healing. He does not minimize your tears. He gathers them, each one, as precious offerings. He numbers them, remembers them, and holds them as sacred. And tonight, in the quiet stillness where your soul reaches for comfort, He is here. Not simply to observe, but to mend. Not to instruct from a distance, but to sit beside you in your sorrow, to place His hand upon your heart, and to begin again the slow and sacred work of restoration. The Lord is near to the broken-hearted. Not only near in proximity, but near in compassion. He feels your pain. He carries your burden. He understands your silence, the kind of silence that words cannot enter. He hears the groans too deep for utterance, the silent cries beneath a composed exterior, the ache that lingers after everyone else has moved on. He does not grow weary of your sorrow. He does not lose patience with your process. He remains constant, steady, tender. You are not forgotten. You are not alone in the quiet ache that others cannot see. Your wounds matter to the One who bears scars of His own, scars that purchased your healing, wounds that prove His love. Jesus, the man of sorrows, acquainted with grief, understands what it is to be pierced. He knows betrayal, abandonment, injustice, anguish. He knows what it is to be misunderstood, overlooked, rejected, wounded. And yet He rose, not only in triumph over sin and death, but in victory over the very pain that breaks your heart tonight. His resurrection was not just a declaration of power, it was a promise of restoration. A promise that what has been broken can be made whole again. That what has been lost can be redeemed. That what has been wounded can be healed. So come as you are. Bring your weary soul, your tender heart, your aching story. Come without pretense, without polish. Come with your questions, your doubts, your fears. Come even if your hope feels threadbare and your faith fragile. He welcomes you not in spite of your weakness, but because of it. He is the God who binds up wounds, not the God who demands perfection. There is no shame in brokenness here. Only tenderness. Only grace. Only the gentle hands of a Savior who stoops to touch the hurting and whispers, "You are mine. I will not leave you here." Let Him hold the pieces of your heart tonight. Let Him speak life over the ruins. Let Him take your hand and begin walking with you, one slow, sacred step at a time, toward healing. Even if you do not yet feel whole, even if the wound still aches, even if the tears still fall, know this, healing has begun. Not because you feel it all at once, but because He is near. And when the healer is near, hope is never far behind. There is a tenderness in the way God heals. A patience that does not rush, a kindness that does not demand immediate restoration. The world may press you to move on, to be strong, to forget, but God does not heal by force. He heals by presence. He heals by nearness. He does not merely touch wounds, He tends to them. He does not simply acknowledge sorrow, He sits in it with you, bearing the weight alongside you, lifting what is too heavy for you to carry alone. The Good Shepherd does not leave His injured sheep to mend themselves. He carries them. He binds their wounds. He speaks gently over their pain. The Lord does not turn away from the bruised places of your soul. Where the world may look away, He looks closer. Where others may be uncomfortable with your pain, He draws near with quiet understanding. Where human words may fall short, His presence speaks volumes, deep calls to deep, spirit to spirit, healing to the very marrow of your being. And in the places where you have tried to hold yourself together, where you have smiled through the ache, where you have told yourself, "I am fine," He sees beyond the surface. He knows where the cracks have formed, where the weight has settled too long, where the soul has become weary from carrying what was never meant to be carried alone. His invitation has always been the same: "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11 verse 28. Not come when you are whole. Not come when you have figured it out. Not come when the pain is gone. Simply come. Come with the weariness you cannot shake. Come with the grief you do not know how to name. Come with the questions that have no easy answers. Come with the weight that has made your heart feel like stone. Come, because you were never meant to walk this road alone. And when you do, you will find that the hands stretched toward you are not unfamiliar hands. They are scarred hands. Hands that were pierced, hands that bled, hands that bore the weight of suffering so that you would never have to carry yours alone. The healer knows what it is to hurt. He does not heal from a place of distance. He heals from the depths of understanding. The one who wept at Lazarus' tomb, who groaned in Gethsemane, who cried out from the cross, this is the one who sits with you in your sorrow tonight. He is not repelled by your pain. He is drawn to it. And he whispers now, as he always has, I am near to the broken-hearted. I will save the crushed in spirit. So, rest. Not in the absence of wounds, but in the presence of the healer. Rest, not because everything is whole yet, but because the one who holds you is faithful to complete the work he has begun. Healing does not always come in the way we expect. It is not always immediate. It does not always look like the absence of pain. Sometimes, healing looks like the presence of God in the middle of the ache, sufficient grace holding you together when you feel like falling apart. Sometimes, healing is slow. A sunrise, not a lightning strike. A quiet mending that happens deep beneath the surface, where roots grow strong before fruit appears. But make no mistake, healing is happening, because the hands of the potter do not leave what they have formed. The hands of the shepherd do not abandon the sheep. The hands of the Savior do not fail to complete the work of redemption. And you, beloved, are in the hands of the healer. The anchor of hope. It is more than a wish, more than a fleeting emotion, more than fragile optimism in uncertain times. Hope, true hope, is an anchor. Not an idea, but a reality. Not a vague feeling, but a firm foundation buried deep in the soul. A holy tether that holds fast when everything else begins to drift. The winds may howl. The waters may rise. The ground beneath may tremble. But this hope, this living hope in Christ, holds firm. For it is not anchored in circumstances that change, nor in feelings that waver. It is anchored in the eternal, anchored in God Himself, who does not change, who does not fail, who does not forget. Hope is not the absence of storms. It is the presence of security in the middle of them. Scripture says, we have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. It enters the inner sanctuary behind the curtain, where our forerunner, Jesus, has entered on our behalf. Hebrews 6 verses 19 to 20. Can you feel the beauty in those words? This hope reaches into the very presence of God, into the Holy of Holies, beyond the veil, and it holds you there. Not by your strength, not by your efforts, but because Christ has gone before you. The anchor is tied to Him. He is your hope, and He is unshakable. You may feel tossed about tonight, by fears, by sorrow, by uncertainty. Perhaps your heart has drifted into places you never thought you'd go. Perhaps you feel like you're barely holding on. But here is the sacred truth. It is not you who must hold on to hope. It is hope that holds you. And this hope does not unravel. It is not stitched together by human strength. It is woven by the promises of God, promises that do not fray with time, promises sealed by the blood of Christ, promises that echo from eternity past and stretch into eternity to come. When all else fails, His word does not. God is not a man, that He should lie, nor a son of man, that He should change His mind. Numbers 23:19. So when He says, I will never leave you nor forsake you, He means it. When He says, I have plans to give you a future and a hope, He means it. When He says, nothing can separate you from my love, He means it. These are not just comforting phrases to repeat in times of trouble. These are anchors to tether your soul, deeply, firmly, eternally. Hope in Christ is not about ignoring pain. It is not pretending everything is okay when it is not. It is not looking at the chaos and calling it calm. No, hope sees the storm clearly, but rests in the one who is greater than the storm. Hope sees the waves, but knows there is a Savior who walks upon them. Hope feels the wind, but remembers the one who speaks peace to it. Hope sees the cross, but looks beyond it to the empty tomb. That is what makes Christian hope different. It is not based on avoidance of suffering, but on redemption through it. It is not rooted in shallow positivity, but in resurrection power. And even now, even in the silence, hope whispers. It whispers, He is still good. It whispers, He is still near. It whispers, He is still working. You may not feel it yet. You may not see the full picture. But hope is not sight. It is the assurance of what is yet unseen, the quiet confidence that the hand of God is still writing your story, even when you do not yet understand the chapter you're in. This is the hope that steadies you, not that everything will be easy, but that nothing will be wasted. Not that every prayer will be answered how you imagined, but that every cry is heard by the one who holds eternity in his hands. Not that the road will be smooth, but that you will never walk it alone. And so, you rest, not in the certainty of circumstances, but in the certainty of God. You may feel like you're drifting, but you are not lost. You may feel weak, but the anchor does not depend on your strength. You may feel uncertain, but the hope within you is not uncertain. It is fixed, secured, steadfast, and sure. The same Jesus who walked into the storm with his disciples is walking with you now. The same Savior who stood in the fire with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego is standing beside you now. The same God who parted seas, calmed winds, raised the dead, and conquered the grave, he is the one who anchors your soul. So lift your eyes from the waves. Look not to the storm, but to the Savior. He is steady. He is sure. And he will not let you go. Even now, he whispers to your heart. Take heart. I am with you. I am your anchor. I am your peace. There is a quiet ache that whispers in the hidden corners of the soul, an ache many carry silently, sometimes without words. It is the ache of feeling unseen, unnoticed, forgotten. It creeps in on weary nights and lonely mornings. It lingers after the crowd has dispersed and the silence settles. It's the ache that wonders, does anyone see me? Has anyone remembered me? Has God forgotten me too? But into that very ache, God speaks. Into that longing, he leans near. But Zion said, the Lord has forsaken me, the Lord has forgotten me. Can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has borne? Though she may forget, I will not forget you. See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Isaiah 49 verses 14 to 16. You are not forgotten. Not in your quiet place of waiting. Not in the depths of your pain. Not in the hours that feel like a wilderness. Not in the chapters of your life that seem unnoticed by others. You are remembered, tenderly, deliberately, eternally. God does not merely remember you as a fleeting thought. He has engraved you, permanently, lovingly, on his very hands. His remembrance of you is not passive. It is personal. It is fierce with compassion. It is etched into the very heart of his being. You may feel forgotten by people, overlooked in a crowd, unseen in the noise of the world, but the one who fashioned the stars and called them each by name also knows your name, your breath, your tears, your journey. And he has not let you slip from his sight for a single moment. Even now, in this moment, he sees you. He sees your silent prayers, the ones you didn't know how to articulate. He sees the ache beneath your smile, the heaviness behind your strength. He sees the questions in your heart that you've been too afraid to ask. And still, he draws near. He does not turn away from your ache. He enters it. God is not indifferent to your pain. He is not far off, unmoved by the aching places of your soul. He does not forget the ones the world forgets. He does not abandon the ones others pass by. His love is not like the love of man. It does not fade, it does not falter, it does not grow weary of you. Even when you feel like you've fallen between the cracks, you have not slipped through his hands. You are held. You are seen. You are known. And you are still being written into the story he is telling. Sometimes we mistake silence for absence. But God's silence is never forgetfulness. It is often the still space where he is preparing something sacred. He is never late, never absent, never unaware. His timing may feel slow, but his heart is always near. Even in your most hidden seasons, he is watching over you. Even in your in-between places, he is weaving purpose. Even in your valley of uncertainty, he walks beside you. And in the places where you feel unseen by all others, he sets his gaze upon you with unwavering affection. You may not understand the timing. You may not see the fullness of the picture yet. But the truth remains, you are not forgotten. Not even for a breath. Not for a heartbeat. Not for a single sunrise or shadowed night. And maybe that's what your soul needed to hear tonight. Not a solution, not an answer, not a plan, but just this quiet assurance, you are not forgotten. Perhaps you've been praying for something and the heavens have felt still. Perhaps your heart has been weary of waiting, worn from wondering if God still sees. But the answer has already been whispered in eternity. I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. You are etched into the hands that bore the nails for your redemption. You are inscribed upon the hands that lifted the little children, that touched the eyes of the blind, that washed the feet of weary disciples, that broke bread and multiplied miracles. You are remembered by the hands that carried your cross. What more could declare your worth than this? What more could prove you are not forgotten? The hands that hold the universe are the same hands that hold your name. And still, he writes. Still, he carries your story. Still, he holds your days with care. You don't need to strive to be seen. You don't need to earn remembrance. His love has already made room for you. His grace has already drawn near. His eyes have already found you in the crowd, and stayed upon you with delight. Yes, even now. Even if you feel lost in the shadows. Even if your voice feels small in a world full of noise. Even if you are walking a road no one else can see, God sees. God remembers. God walks with you. And when the ache rises again, when that quiet question resurfaces, "Have you forgotten me, Lord?" Remember this sacred truth. You have never left his mind. Not once. You have never slipped from his gaze. You have never been absent from his care. You are not just seen, you are cherished. You are not just remembered, you are held. You are not just noticed, you are loved with everlasting love. So let your heart rest tonight in this truth. You are not forgotten. You are engraved. You are beloved. You are his. There is something sacred about being remembered, truly remembered, not just in mind, but in heart, in care, in compassion. There is a tender healing that flows into the soul when it knows it is not invisible, not abandoned, not passed over or brushed aside. And yet how often do our hearts carry the ache of invisibility? Life sometimes makes us feel like we've slipped behind the curtain of significance. Seasons change, people move on, roles shift, relationships grow distant, and slowly, quietly, we wonder if we still matter. If we are still seen. If we are still known. But there is a whisper from heaven that calls through that ache and stills the unrest. I see you. I have not forgotten you. I never will. This is the nature of God. He is the one who sees. The one who remembers. The one who holds us even when the world moves too quickly to notice. The God who spoke galaxies into motion still speaks your name with tenderness. The God who tends the lilies and counts the sparrows has not forgotten the fragile ache within your heart. His love is not distracted. His attention is not divided. His remembrance is not fleeting. He is the God who remembers you by name. And his remembrance is not passive, it is protective, purposeful, attentive. His memory of you is not merely intellectual, it is interwoven with compassion, marked by mercy, and expressed through his unwavering presence in your life. You may feel like a whisper in a world of loud voices, but to God, you are a song he never tires of hearing. You may feel buried beneath responsibilities, overshadowed by the success of others, unseen in your quiet obedience, but to him, you are radiant. You are precious. You are engraved. See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Not written. Not sketched. Not drawn in fading ink. Engraved. Carved. Etched. Pressed into permanence. Do you see the beauty in that word? Engraving is lasting. It is not erasable. It does not fade with time or wash away with tears. It is marked with intent, with effort, with care. God is saying, you are not a fleeting thought to me. You are a permanent inscription on my heart. Even if you feel like no one calls your name anymore, he does. Even if others forget your story, your struggles, your sacrifices, God does not. He knows every chapter. He remembers every page. And he holds your name where he can see it always, upon the very hands that shaped your soul. The hands of God are not forgetful hands. They are faithful hands. Hands that formed you in the womb. Hands that carry you through your weakness. Hands that shield you in your storms. Hands that stretch toward you when you feel alone. Hands that are never closed to you, never withdrawn, never absent. Hands that bled to save you now bear your name with unwavering devotion. And when you find yourself feeling forgotten, pause for a moment and look again at the cross. Because there, in the most profound act of remembrance, Jesus carried your name into suffering so you could carry his name into eternity. He bore the weight of your sin not because he forgot you, but because he remembered you. He loved you before you could love him. The cross is the proof. You are not forgotten. You are cherished beyond measure. Let your soul rest in this grace. You do not have to fight to be remembered. You do not have to strive to be noticed. You are already known, already held, already chosen. You are not a footnote in the story of redemption. You are a beloved chapter written with care, written with purpose, written by the hand of the author who never forgets what he has created. Even in the silence, he remembers. Even in the stillness, he is near. And when the days feel long and the road feels hidden and the waiting feels unbearable, remember this: you are not walking in obscurity, you are walking in intimacy. God is not distant in your hiddenness. He is closer than ever. He is speaking in whispers. He is shaping in quietness. He is preparing in stillness. And he is holding your name before him with deep, abiding love. Do not let the silence convince you that you've been left behind. Sometimes, God works most powerfully in the places where no one is watching. Sometimes, the seasons where you feel most unseen are the seasons where you are most deeply shaped by his presence. He sees every tear, every tired step, every quiet act of obedience, every whispered prayer. And he is not only aware, he is pleased. He is not like people who forget. He is not like circumstances that change. He is not like voices that grow distant. His love does not dim. His memory does not fail. His faithfulness does not flicker. You are remembered by a God who holds eternity in his hands, and your name is written there. So breathe deep tonight. Let that truth quiet your soul. Let that promise still your restlessness. You are seen. You are known. You are remembered. And you are deeply, eternally loved. He knows the plans. Jeremiah 29 verses 11 to 13. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. There are moments in life that feel uncertain, stretches of time where the road ahead disappears into fog and our hearts ache for direction. We feel suspended between what was and what will be, caught in a space where answers seem elusive and clarity feels distant. We pray, we wait, we wonder. We ask questions into the quiet and long for a sign, a glimpse of what's next. And in that waiting, the soul begins to ache. But it is there, in the uncertainty, in the space between what you hoped for and what you see, that the whisper of God reaches deepest. I know the plans I have for you. Not random moments. Not accidental detours. Not forgotten paths or wasted seasons. Plans. God is not making it up as he goes along. He is not surprised by your delays or disoriented by your struggles. He is not working with fragments of what might be. He is working from the fullness of what already is in his sovereign mind. Before you ever felt lost, he already held the map. Before you ever wandered, he already prepared the way home. Before you ever dreamed of purpose, he already dreamed of you. These are not mere words to soothe. These are declarations from the heart of the Almighty. He speaks this promise not from a distance but from intimacy. He speaks it not as a vague hope but as a divine certainty. I know. And that changes everything. Because even when you don't know what tomorrow holds, he does. Even when the path curves unexpectedly, his plan does not unravel. Even when life feels heavy with unanswered prayers, his purpose is still unfolding with precision and grace. God's plans are not built upon your perfection. They are anchored in his providence. They are not delayed by your fears. They are carried by his faithfulness. His plans are not limited by what you lack. They are nourished by who he is. You may look at your current season and feel confusion, but he sees completion. You may see broken pieces, but he sees how it all fits together. Every tear, every turn, every quiet prayer in the midnight hour, it's all being woven into something greater than you can see. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is random. Nothing is lost in his hands. The detours you thought were delays? They were divine redirections. The waiting you thought was pointless? It was preparation. The silence you feared was absence? It was sacred stillness where roots were growing deep. And through it all, his voice still calls gently to your heart, I know the plans I have for you. Plans not to harm you, but to prosper you. To nourish you with hope when despair whispers loud. To fill your soul with light when shadows threaten. To walk you gently into a future you didn't even know to pray for, a future shaped by mercy, formed by grace, bathed in peace. This is not a promise of ease, but it is a promise of purpose. Not every road will be smooth. Not every question will be answered immediately. Not every chapter will feel clear while you're in it. But one truth will always hold, God's plans for you are good, even when they don't feel easy. And when your strength falters, when your heart feels unsure, when you don't know how to take the next step, come. Come and pray. Call upon Him. Seek Him with all your heart. Not just for answers, but for Him. Because the greatest promise of this passage is not just a future, it's the presence of the God who walks with you into it. Then you will call upon me, and I will listen to you. There is no prayer too faint, no cry too weak, no whisper too small. He listens. Not like the world listens, with half-hearted attention or distracted ears. He listens fully. He bends close. He hears the sighs you don't have words for. He sees the ache behind the smile. He holds every unspoken longing and pours His comfort into the silence. And more than that, He invites you into holy nearness. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. The future may be uncertain, but His presence is sure. His nearness is the gift hidden in every season of waiting. His closeness is the comfort behind every mystery. And sometimes, the most beautiful part of His plan is not just where He's taking you. It's the deeper way He reveals Himself as you walk with Him. You may have longed for resolution, but He gives you revelation. You may have asked for clarity, but He gives you communion. You may have prayed for the path to be made straight, but He makes your heart steadfast. Because in the end, the plan was never just about what you do. It was always about who you become, and who you discover Him to be along the way. So rest, dear soul. The road is not unknown to Him. The unfolding of your life is not uncertain in His hands. You are not walking blind. You are walking guided by the One who sees the end from the beginning, the One who lovingly writes every line of your story. Let His whisper echo through your heart tonight, I know the plans I have for you. And that is more than enough. The rock beneath you. Psalm 18 verses 1-3, 31-36. When all else trembles, when the winds howl and the ground beneath you threatens to give way, there is a rock. Eternal. Immovable. Sure. And this rock is not distant, not cold, not detached. He is your God. He is your fortress. He is your shelter and shield, your strength and salvation. The world shifts. Circumstances shift. Emotions rise and fall like waves upon the sea. People come and go. Seasons change. But beneath it all, there is one who does not change. One who remains, steady and faithful, strong and unfailing. I love you, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. My God, my rock, in whom I take refuge. My shield, and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. Psalm 18 verses 1-2. There is a strength that does not come from striving. There is a peace that is not born from understanding. There is a stillness that does not come from everything being perfect, but from being held by the One who is perfect. When chaos surrounds, when fear whispers, when shadows fall, there is a place to hide. There is a refuge that will not collapse beneath the weight of your worries. And the Lord, your rock, is not merely a shelter to run to in storms. He is the foundation beneath your soul, the one upon whom your life can be built, sure and unshakable, no matter what comes. You do not stand upon shifting sand. You stand upon a God who is everlasting. There are days when your footing feels unsure, when doubts creep in, when prayers feel thin, when you wonder if you'll make it through. But the rock beneath you does not waver. You may feel weak, but your foundation is strong. You may tremble, but He will not move. And even in your trembling, He upholds you. Even now, He is beneath you, supporting you, holding the weight of all you carry. His strength is not only for the victorious moments, but for the valley walks, the sleepless nights, the quiet cries. The rock is not distant in your distress. He is near, grounding you with his presence. And when you feel too weary to climb, when you feel like falling is inevitable, he lifts you. His strength becomes yours. His power steadies your steps. For who is God but the Lord? And who is a rock except our God? The God who equipped me with strength and made my way blameless. Psalm 18 verses 31 to 32. He does not only offer safety, he empowers. He strengthens. He trains your hands for battle, not just to endure, but to overcome. He gives you firm steps, not just to stand still, but to move forward, led by his strength. And even when your path is uncertain, the rock beneath you is not. He is the steady place under your shaking, the firm ground under your questioning, the strong foundation under your fears. You may not see all that lies ahead, but you are anchored in one who does. He sees, he knows, and he holds you. Even in the pressure, even in the heaviness, even in the moments that stretch your soul thin, his strength is sufficient. His refuge is wide enough to hold you. His peace is deep enough to still you. You do not need to be strong enough. You only need to rest on the one who is. You are not walking alone through shifting shadows. There is a foundation beneath you that cannot be shaken. The world may quake, but the rock beneath you remains immovable. And in him, you are secure. God does not promise that the winds won't blow. He does not say the rains won't fall. But he does promise this, that when they come, you will not fall, because you are planted upon him. He is your unshakable ground. How many times has your heart felt the tremble of uncertainty? How often have you stood at the edge of something unfamiliar, wondering whether the next step will hold your weight? And yet, here you are, still standing, still breathing, still upheld. Why? Because the rock has held you. There were days you thought you would collapse. Nights you thought you wouldn't make it through. Moments where your soul whispered, "This is too much." But God whispered back, "I am enough." And in the silence, he steadied you. Every fear that tried to bury you, he lifted. Every doubt that tried to pull you under, he broke. Every lie that said you were alone, he silenced with his presence. Because he is not just near, he is underneath you. And he is holding you. He made my feet like the feet of a deer and set me secure on the heights. Psalm 18 verse 33. There is a grace not only for survival but for strength. There is a God who doesn't only shelter you from storms, he strengthens your footing on high places. You were not meant to live paralyzed by fear. You were meant to walk boldly, anchored in confidence, not in yourself, but in him. Sometimes your strength will not look like shouting victory from mountaintops. Sometimes strength will look like quiet endurance, like trusting through the tears, like standing when everything else crumbles, like holding fast when the storm has not passed. This is what it means to be anchored in the rock. Not that the winds don't rage, but that you do not fall. Not that the water isn't deep, but that you are not swallowed by it. Not that sorrow won't come, but that you are never alone in it. There is a holy stillness in being upheld by the strength of God. A quiet resilience. A peace that does not panic when the shaking begins. You may bend, but you will not break. You may be pressed, but not crushed. Because the rock beneath you cannot be moved. And even if your steps falter, even if you fall in weakness, his arms catch you. His grace holds you. The rock beneath you becomes the mercy that cradles your soul, lifting you again and again. Let this bring peace to your heart tonight. You are not walking upon your own strength. You are not standing on the edge of nothing. Beneath your feet is the solid, immovable love of a faithful God. He is not going anywhere. He is not failing you now. He never has, and he never will. You gave a wide place for my steps under me, and my feet did not slip. Psalm 18 verse 36. What beautiful assurance! He makes room beneath your steps. He does not let you stumble without catching you. And when the journey feels narrow, when your footing feels unsure, he widens your path with grace. He secures your steps, not because you always walk perfectly, but because he always holds you. Even now, yes, even in this very moment, you are standing on something eternal. You are not fragile glass waiting to be shattered. You are not a leaf tossed in the wind. You are a soul held by the unshakable rock of ages. And when you wake tomorrow, no matter what you face, this truth will still be true: the rock is beneath you, and he will not move. There is a sacred stillness that comes when the soul remembers where it stands, not on shifting ground, not on the fragile foundations of human strength, but on the eternal rock. You are not suspended in uncertainty, tossed about by winds of chance. You are anchored to something deeper, older, stronger: God Himself, who is your rock and your Redeemer. The Lord is not a fleeting comfort or a temporary escape. He is the everlasting rock, steadfast in every storm, solid beneath every shaking. When emotions rise and fall, when outcomes shift, when fears whisper their trembling tales, still, beneath your feet, there is a rock that does not move. David cried out in Psalm 18 verse 2, "The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold." This was not poetic metaphor alone, it was lived reality. David had known caves, war, betrayal, pursuit. He had walked through dark nights and desperate hiding places. But it was in those very places that he discovered the rock, not beneath the comfort of palaces, but beneath his weary, hunted steps. So too, in your life, there may be moments when you feel pursued by pressures you cannot outrun, chased by uncertainties you cannot resolve. But even there, even in the shadowed valleys, the rock remains. Even when you cannot see the path ahead clearly, you can feel beneath your soul the firmness of His presence. He is the unchanging one in your ever-changing days. And this rock is not distant or cold. He is not hard in heart, though strong in power. He is the rock who shelters, who surrounds, who strengthens. He is fortress and refuge, shield and safe place. He is not just the God who watches from above. He is the God who comes close, whose strength upholds you when yours is gone. Sometimes life brings you to the edge, where your own strength collapses. You find yourself at the end of your rope, the end of your striving. But it is there, right there, where the rock reveals himself most clearly. When all else crumbles, he remains. When your own footing gives way, his never does. You do not have to keep yourself together on your own. You do not have to hold everything in place. The one who holds the universe in his hands is the same one who holds you. You may feel like you're falling, but in truth, you're falling into his strength, into the everlasting arms, into the immovable foundation of God's love. Let your soul rest on the rock tonight. Let every anxious thought be quieted by the steady truth of his strength. Let every fearful forecast lose its voice in the echo of his promise. He has not left you exposed to the storms. He has not left you defenseless in the chaos. Beneath the swirl of uncertainty is a quiet, hidden place, your refuge in him. You are not alone in the night. You are not standing on sinking sand. You are not abandoned to the winds. You are held. You are upheld. You are standing on the rock. And that rock is Christ. Scripture tells us in 1 Corinthians 10 verse 4, "They drank from the spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ." He is the rock in the wilderness, the source of living water, the unshakable foundation of our hope. When the Israelites wandered, the rock followed them. When you wander, the rock does not abandon you. He remains with you, behind you, beneath you, before you. Even when your heart falters, he is faithful. Even when you waver, he stands. And when others fail to understand your journey, when you feel misunderstood, misjudged, or unseen, remember, the rock sees. The rock knows. The rock holds all things in perfect strength and timing. Do not rush to build your own fortress when fear rises. Do not scramble to construct your own safety out of fragile materials. Return instead to the one who has always been your stronghold. He does not crack under pressure. He does not shift with culture or time. He is not fragile, not failing, not limited. He is the Ancient of Days, the eternal God, the firm ground beneath your feet and the shelter over your head. And even if all the world around you changes, even if your circumstances turn upside down, even if you feel unsteady in your soul, the rock remains unchanged. Rest in him. Lean into him. Let him be your still point in a swirling world. You do not have to carry yourself. The rock carries you. You do not have to secure every outcome. The rock secures you. You do not have to know every answer. The rock is your wisdom. You do not have to conquer every fear. The rock is your peace. And even now, he whispers to your soul, "Come, rest on me. Let me be your strength. Let me hold you steady. I will not let you be shaken." When all else fades and familiar paths blur, when the winds of life howl and the storm refuses to pass, the soul longs for something, someone, unshakable. And that longing is not a weakness. It is a holy cry echoing through the chambers of the heart, "Lead me to the rock that is higher than I." The soul does not ask for escape. It asks for anchoring. It does not plead for a painless road, but for a steadfast presence. And in that deep yearning, heaven answers, not with a fleeting whisper, but with a solid, eternal reply. "I am your rock. I am your refuge. I am your shelter." There is a divine difference between sand and stone. Sand shifts, it sinks beneath pressure, it dissolves beneath the waves. But the rock, oh, the rock holds steady. The rock is not moved by the tempests that rage. The rock is Christ, and he is not moved by what moves us. He stands when all else falls. And you, beloved, are invited to build your life upon him. Not upon the fleeting approval of others. Not upon the fragile structures of success or stability. Not upon emotion or circumstance or momentary joy. But upon him, who was, and is to come. He is the rock beneath you, beneath the surface of every uncertainty. Even when your footing feels unsure, even when your knees shake and your soul trembles, he is beneath you, holding you still, bearing the weight, refusing to let you sink. Sometimes the surface of life is chaos, but deeper still is Christ. Deeper still is the unyielding strength of his word, the immovable power of his promises, the eternal grip of his love. The mountain may crumble, but the rock will remain. The storm may swirl, but the rock does not move. The fire may rage, but the rock endures. He is not merely a hiding place, he is a foundation. He is not merely a shelter, he is a structure. And when the winds rise again, and they will, your house will stand, because it is built upon him. Everyone then who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. Matthew 7 verse 24. You have not built your life in vain, dear soul. Though you have wept, though you have wondered at times, the foundation beneath you has not cracked. The one who holds you does not falter. And tonight, as you rest, may you remember this truth. You are not resting on uncertainty. You are resting upon the rock that never breaks. Let his strength surround your weariness. Let his nearness soothe your fear. Let his promises echo louder than the thunder of your doubts. For you are not held by what you feel. You are held by who he is. You may not see the rock beneath you, but you will feel its steadiness. You will sense its strength. You will know its peace. And it will carry you through the valley, through the flood, through the fire, through everything. When others see only the shaking, you will stand still. Not because you are strong, but because your footing is sure. Not because you are unafraid, but because your foundation is faithful. Not because life is easy, but because your rock is eternal. And when you fall, yes, even then, fall upon the rock. Let it break your burdens, not your hope. Let it receive your cry, not your shame. Let it cradle your grief, not condemn it. He is not only the rock beneath you, he is the rock that lifts you. He lifts your gaze. He lifts your spirit. He lifts your soul from despair. And in his strength, you will rise again. The wind may howl tonight, but your soul has a place to rest. The future may be unclear, but your heart has a shelter to cling to. The world may shake, but the rock beneath you is still steady, and always will be. So close your eyes now, beloved. Not in fear, but in faith. Not in uncertainty, but in trust. Not because the storm is gone, but because the rock has never moved. You are safe here. There is something deeply sacred about finding your strength not in yourself, but in the one who is everlasting. The world teaches you to carry it all, to be unbreakable, to find your worth in how well you stand. But the gospel gently turns this upside down. It tells you that true strength is found in surrender, that your security is not in standing tall, but in falling upon the rock. You were not made to carry the mountains. You were made to be carried by the mountain that cannot be moved. For who is God but the Lord? And who is a rock except our God? the God who equipped me with strength and made my way blameless. Psalm 18 verses 31 to 32. He equips you not with your own might, but with His. He strengthens you not by toughening your heart, but by softening it in His presence. He makes your way sure, not by clearing every obstacle, but by giving you footing that holds, even in the steepest places. How many times have you found yourself on terrain too hard to navigate? How many nights have you looked ahead and said, "I don't know how I'll make it"? But still, you're here. Still, you stand. Still, you breathe. Still, your soul reaches upward. Not because you were strong, but because He was the rock beneath your trembling feet. There are days when life feels like a climb, when each step feels heavier than the last, when your soul is weary and your hope feels dim. But even then, especially then, He becomes the rock that steadies your step. He made my feet like the feet of a deer and set me secure on the heights. Psalm 18 verse 33. There is a grace in how He carries you higher. Not by removing the climb, but by placing strength in your legs. Not by removing the struggle, but by giving you balance and sure-footedness even on the cliffs of uncertainty. Like the deer that dances effortlessly upon the narrow ridges, your soul too is being trained to move in the high places, not in fear, but in faith. Not in haste, but in harmony with His Spirit. And oh, how carefully He leads. He doesn't rush you. He doesn't force you forward. He walks beside you, one step at a time. He speaks peace into your pace. He teaches you how to climb, how to trust, how to lean into the strength of the rock beneath your feet. Sometimes, the climb feels like it will undo you. But in those moments, remember, He is not just the rock beneath you, He is also the one lifting you higher. He is forming you. He is shaping you in the climb. And with every upward step, He is preparing you for a view you haven't yet seen, where glory meets grace, where faith becomes sight, where every tear will be understood in the light of His presence. He trains your hands for battle, not a battle against people, but against fear, despair, and doubt. He trains my hands for war, so that my arms can bend a bow of bronze. Psalm 18 verse 34. The war you fight is often unseen. A war in your thoughts. A battle in your heart. An inner wrestling between faith and fear, peace and panic, trust and control. But He equips you, not with the weapons of this world, but with the armor of His Spirit. A heart guarded by peace. A mind renewed by truth. A soul anchored by hope. This is how you fight your battles now, not by striving, but by standing firm upon the rock. And as you stand, something sacred happens within you. You begin to sense His gentleness in the midst of your strain. You begin to recognize that His strength doesn't crush you, it carries you. You have given me the shield of your salvation, and your right hand supported me, and your gentleness made me great. Psalm 18 verse 35. Yes, His gentleness made you great. It wasn't the force of pressure that grew you, it was the soft, persistent grace of His presence. It wasn't the applause of men that formed your spirit, it was the quiet whispers of His love. It wasn't the strength of your resume, but the strength of your roots in Him. And now, because He held you, because He supported you, because He sustained you, your soul can stretch, rise, expand. You are becoming all He destined you to be. The rock beneath you is also the Father around you, the shepherd beside you, the Spirit within you. He makes room for you to grow. He broadens the path so you do not slip. He opens space for your feet to find confidence again. You gave a wide place for my steps unto me, and my feet did not slip. Psalm 18 verse 36. That is the promise of the rock, not a path free from hardship, but a path held secure beneath divine care. Not the absence of trial, but the assurance of footing. Not an easy road, but an anchored one. You are not walking on hollow ground, you are walking on the solid promises of God. You are not alone on this climb, the rock is beneath every step. Let your heart rest in this. Let your spirit breathe in this peace. Let your weary feet pause upon this holy ground, this sacred stillness where heaven meets earth and whispers. You are safe. You are held. You are standing on me. The winds may rise again. The sky may darken, and the road may once more bend into mystery. But you are not where you used to be. You have been carried by the rock. You have stood in storms and found that you were never standing alone. There is a strength now in your soul, not the kind that boasts in self, but the kind that quietly knows, I have been held by the unshakable one. The world may try to tell you otherwise. It may whisper that you're still too weak, too wounded, too uncertain. But let the whisper of the Word speak louder. You are not standing on your past. You are not standing on your performance. You are standing on the rock of your salvation. When fear tries to creep in, declare again, the Lord is my rock and my fortress. When shame tries to return, lift your eyes and say, the Lord is my deliverer, my God in whom I take refuge. When anxiety begins to stir, breathe slow and steady in the promise, He is my shield, and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. This is not mere poetry, it is a fortress for your soul. You can lean your full weight on Him. You can collapse in His presence. You can weep and tremble and ache, and still not be moved, because He will not let you fall through. The rock is not fragile. The rock does not shift with your moods or sway with your emotions. The rock does not recoil when you struggle. The rock is always sure, and in Him you are secure. Let this be the peace that hushes your heart tonight. That underneath your uncertainty, there is certainty. Underneath your questions, there is unchanging truth. Underneath your ache, there is everlasting comfort. The rock remains, even when all else crumbles. The rock remains, even when your confidence fades. The rock remains, even when you cannot feel Him. He is not only the place you run to, He is the place you live from. Your refuge is not just for emergencies, it is your dwelling place. You don't have to keep scrambling for safety. You are already hidden in Him. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. Psalm 91 verse 1. And what a shadow it is! Not the shadow of fear, but of covering. Not of hiding in shame, but of resting in grace. The shadow of the rock falls gently over your life, a cooling peace over the burning sun of stress and striving. A soft place beneath the weight of all that has pressed on your shoulders. Here you find stillness. Here you hear the whisper again, I am your rock. You are safe. There will be more hills to climb, more rivers to cross, more battles to fight. But the foundation of your soul will not change. You have been set upon the rock. Let your identity rise from this holy place, not from what you do, not from what others say, not from what the world demands, but from what is eternal. You are loved. You are seen. You are held. You are planted on the rock of ages, and no storm can sweep you away. The rock beneath you is not just a place, it's a person. A Savior who bled for you. A Redeemer who rose for you. A Shepherd who walks beside you. A fortress who wraps you in peace. And His name is Jesus. So when your soul trembles, speak His name. When your path feels uncertain, whisper His promise. When your heart feels faint, lean into His strength. The world may not understand this peace, but you know it. You've tasted it. You've stood upon it in the valley and found that it did not give way. Let this be your song in the night. I love you, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. My God, my rock, in whom I take refuge. My shield, and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. Psalm 18 verses 1-2. Even if the earth gives way, the rock remains. Even if your strength fails, the rock stands. Even if tomorrow is unknown, the rock is already there, carving paths through the wilderness, steadying your steps on mountain trails, whispering peace in the stormy dark. And when the night stretches long and your soul longs for rest, He is the rock you can sleep upon, your soul anchored, your spirit safe, your heart quieted in Him. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are not falling. You are standing on the rock that never fails. Amen. The heart God heals, Psalm 34 verse 18 and Psalm 147 verse 3. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34 verse 18. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147 verse 3. There is a quiet tenderness in these verses, a sacred softness that reaches deep into the aching soul. When your heart is shattered, when your spirit feels too weary to rise again, God does not stand at a distance. He comes near. He draws close, not merely as a silent observer but as a compassionate healer. He does not recoil from pain, he moves into it. He does not rush past your wounds, he tends to them with holy care. There is something deeply comforting about this truth, that our Creator is not unmoved by our sorrow. He is not too lofty to stoop down into our grief. The God who formed the galaxies is the same one who kneels beside your weeping and gathers your tears as precious. In a world that often grows impatient with pain and too quick to gloss over it, the heart of God lingers in the broken places. He doesn't rush your healing, he walks with you through it. When life has knocked the wind from your soul and you can barely whisper a prayer, he is already beside you. He does not wait for you to become whole before he meets you. He meets you in the ruins. He finds you in the ashes. He kneels in the dust of your despair and speaks peace over the places that ache most. There is no wound too deep for his healing touch. No heartbreak too complicated for his understanding. No shattered place in your soul beyond his ability to restore. He sees every hidden fracture, every silent ache, every part of your story that others have overlooked or misunderstood. And he moves toward it, not away. You do not have to hide your brokenness with him. He is not repelled by it, he is drawn to it. You do not have to pretend to be strong when you are unraveling. You can weep in his presence, collapse in his arms, and let him be your strength when yours is gone. He is not a God who merely patches you up and sends you on your way. He stays. He abides. He holds you together even when everything around you is falling apart. There is healing in his presence, not always in the way we expect, but always in the way we most need. Sometimes healing is a process, a quiet unfolding of peace in the middle of pain. Sometimes it's a sudden wave of comfort in a moment of despair. But always, healing flows from the nearness of God. You may feel forgotten by the world, but you are held in the heart of God. You may feel lost in the noise of life, but your cries rise like incense before the throne. You may feel like your pain is invisible, but every sigh is heard by the one who made you. And he responds, not with impatience, but with gentleness. He binds up your wounds. Picture that, the hands that shaped the mountains, tenderly wrapping the bandages around your soul. The one who commands the oceans, carefully binding your broken places. This is not a metaphor to be taken lightly, it is the intimate reality of your healing God. Even now, he is binding what has been torn. He is mending what others have trampled. He is restoring what grief has taken. And though you may not yet see the full bloom of healing, his work has already begun. His comfort is flowing, his peace is rising, his love is wrapping around you like a warm covering in a cold storm. So do not despise your tears, they are the language of the soul, and they are sacred in his sight. Every tear you cry is a testimony that you are still reaching for hope, still longing for healing, still holding on to the God who sees you. And he does see you, more clearly than you see yourself. He sees the depth of what you carry and the weight of what you've endured. And still, he says you are not forsaken. There is something sacred about pain. It becomes holy ground when we realize that God himself walks there with us. You may not always feel his footsteps beside you, but his presence surrounds your grief like a gentle wind surrounding a flame. Even in the silence, even in the shadows, he is near. When you feel like the pieces of your heart will never come back together, remember this: God does not merely collect those pieces, he reshapes them. He does not restore you to who you once were. He renews you into someone deeper, softer, stronger, and more radiant with grace. The cracks become vessels for light, and the sorrow becomes soil for compassion. There is no rush in God's healing. He does not pressure you to move on before the wounds have closed. He doesn't tell you to get over it, he says, bring it to me. His pace is patient. His process is gentle. And though others may grow weary of your ache, God never does. He leans into it again and again, reminding you that he is a refuge, a shelter, a place of quiet healing. Have you ever noticed that healing often begins in the stillness? In the quiet moments when the world slows down and your heart finally releases what it's been holding. Sometimes it's in the middle of the night, when the noise has ceased and your soul is most honest. And in those hours, God is closer than breath, whispering comfort, wrapping his peace around you like a warm blanket. He does not tire of tending to your heart. Even when you feel like you're asking for healing again and again, he never grows impatient. He doesn't sigh at your pain or roll his eyes at your weakness. Instead, he bends low to listen, to carry, to restore. He is the healer not just once, but daily, continually, faithfully. And the healing he offers is not surface level, it is deep soul restoration. He doesn't just mend what is visible. He reaches into the invisible aches, the wounds you haven't spoken aloud, the scars that formed in places even you don't fully understand. He knows where your heart broke. He knows what dreams died. He knows what you've been carrying, even when you haven't had the words to describe it. His healing touches the unseen. It touches the disappointments buried beneath smiles. It touches the fears you've dressed up as strength. It touches the grief that lingers in the hidden corners of your soul. And it brings peace, not always instant, but always sure. A peace that goes beyond explanation. A peace that holds you together when logic cannot. A peace that says, "You are not alone, even here." Sometimes healing comes through a word of comfort that sinks into your heart like living water. Sometimes it comes through a verse that speaks directly to your need. Sometimes it comes through rest, through tears, through worship, through simply sitting in God's presence. But always, healing flows from nearness to Him. And He is near. Near to the heart that feels forgotten. Near to the soul that aches quietly. Near to the life that feels like it's falling apart. You don't have to pretend with Him. You don't have to present yourself as put together or strong. You can come to Him with trembling hands, with red eyes, with a whisper instead of a prayer. You can come to Him as you are, and you will never be turned away. He welcomes the weary. He embraces the broken-hearted. The very wounds that seem to disqualify you in the eyes of the world are the very places where God wants to meet you most intimately. He does not run from brokenness. He enters it with healing in His wings. He is not only the God of glory, but the God of grief. He is not only the God of miracles, but the God of midnight sorrow. He is not only the God of strength, but the God of soft-hearted restoration. And so, dear soul, you are safe in His hands. You may feel like your life is unraveling, but His hands are weaving something new. You may feel like the pain will never end, but His comfort is everlasting. You may feel like your heart is too wounded to be whole again, but He specializes in mending what others have thrown away. Let your soul rest in this promise. He heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds. This is not poetic imagery alone, it is divine truth. The Holy Spirit ministers in the places no human words can reach. He brings comfort that is not of this world. And though the healing may not always look the way you imagined, it will always be exactly what your soul most needed. So let Him come close. Let Him hold your sorrow. Let Him sit with your pain. Let Him touch the places no one else has touched. Because in His presence, broken things are not discarded, they are restored. And you, precious soul, are not a burden to Him. You are beloved. You are worth healing. You are worth the time, the care, the compassion of the One who knit you together in your mother's womb and who now mends you in His tender love. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Isaiah 43 verses 18 to 19. There is a quiet hush that falls upon the barren places when God begins to move. The wilderness, once dry and desolate, begins to tremble with expectancy. The wasteland, once cracked and parched beneath the weight of forgotten seasons, becomes the canvas upon which God paints the first signs of something new. It is not just a change, it is a holy interruption, a sacred unfolding, a divine emergence from the stillness of waiting into the wonder of what is being born. The past may have left you weary. You may have walked through deserts of disappointment, valleys of grief, years marked by sorrow and silence. But the voice of the Lord comes now with clarity and hope. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. Not because what happened did not matter, but because it is not the end of your story. The wilderness is not your final chapter. The wasteland is not your dwelling place forever. The God who brings water from the rock and manna from the heavens is still writing, still weaving, still creating beauty from dust. There is something sacred about the word, now. It is not a future promise suspended in some far-off hope, it is the declaration of what God is already doing. Now it springs up. Quietly, gently, steadily. Like a stream breaking through the hardened soil, it flows with mercy. It flows with renewal. It flows with the assurance that your God has not forgotten how to make a way where there was none. He does not merely restore what was, He creates what has never been before. Streams in the wasteland, Isaiah 43 verses 18 to 19. There is something holy about the places that have known barrenness. Something deeply sacred about the lands that have waited long, the hearts that have ached for renewal. God does not avoid the wastelands, He walks straight into them. He does not shy away from the places of sorrow, He speaks life into them. And just when it feels like nothing could ever grow again, just when the ground beneath you feels like a memory of loss, He whispers, "See, I am doing a new thing." Can you hear it? The soft sound of water where there was none. Can you sense the stirring beneath the surface, the tender breaking forth of newness in the hidden places of your life? It may not roar, it may not announce itself with fanfare, but it is real. It is rising. It is the quiet miracle of God's movement in a heart that still dares to believe. Sometimes the new thing begins not with an open door but with a change of perception. Do you not perceive it? The Lord asks. Not, do you feel it? Not, do you fully understand it? But simply, do you perceive it? Because often what God is doing begins in ways unseen, in the depths of the soul before it rises to the surface of sight. The streams begin underground, silent and hidden, before they ever burst forth into visible flow. And yet, He asks you to trust it, to watch with eyes of faith, to perceive with the vision of the Spirit, to walk forward not by sight but by the sound of His voice. You may not see the full picture yet. You may still feel the dryness of your desert. But still, the stream is coming. Still, the way is being made. Still, the breath of heaven is breathing life into the places that have long waited for rain. Beloved, don't be afraid of new things. Don't be afraid of what is unfamiliar, what stretches you, what calls you forward from what once was. The past had its place, but it does not define the promises ahead. God is not asking you to erase your history. He is inviting you to release it. Not to ignore what happened, but to stop living under its shadow. Because what He is birthing now requires room. What He is making new must not be tangled in what has already passed. You are not stuck. You are not forgotten. You are not left behind in yesterday's pain. You are being led into today's promise, step by step, stream by stream, grace by grace. And oh, the beauty of those streams in the wasteland. They come not because the land earned them, but because grace decided to flow. They appear not by human strength, but by divine mercy. You cannot fabricate them or force them. You can only receive them, drink from them, walk beside them in wonder. What once felt like ruin becomes a riverbed. What once seemed lifeless becomes a sanctuary. The places you thought would never know beauty again become gardens watered by heaven. For where God walks, life follows. Where He breathes, things bloom. Where He leads, hope springs. And so, let your heart open wide to the possibility that this wilderness you're walking through is not your prison, it's your pathway. This desert is not your defeat, it's the very place where God is preparing streams for you. Not just a little relief. Not just a drop of water to get by. But streams. Abundant, flowing, fresh mercy for every dry place. He is not rationing hope. He is pouring it. And the way. Oh yes, there is a way. He is making it. Even when you can't see where the next step leads. Even when every turn feels uncertain. Even when the road you expected disappears, and all you see is wilderness stretching ahead, He is making a way. Not just finding a way, making one. Creating one. Carving one. Where there was nothing but dust, His footsteps mark a trail of glory. That's the power of your God. He makes a way not through ease but through impossibility. He doesn't wait until the land is easy. He walks with you through what others would call impassable. And somehow, where you thought you'd lose your way, you find Him more deeply. Where you feared the end, you discover the beginning. Where you braced for drought, you drink from streams you didn't know existed. Yes, He is doing a new thing. It may not look like you expected. It may not arrive in the wrapping you imagined. But it is real. It is good. It is holy. And it is yours. So lift your eyes, child of God. Look again, not with the eyes of fear but with the eyes of faith. Something is springing up in your life. Something beautiful. Something God-ordained. Something meant for you. The past no longer holds you captive. The wilderness no longer defines you. The wasteland no longer marks your limits. You belong to the one who makes streams in desert places and ways through impossible spaces. You belong to the one who writes redemption into every chapter and speaks hope into every hollow. There is a stillness in the wilderness, a quiet that can feel both heavy and holy. It is in that silence that God often speaks clearest, not through thunder or fire, but through the gentle murmur of living water beneath the surface. And if you listen, if you quiet the noise around you, you may begin to hear it, the subtle movement of grace carving its way through what once felt barren. For God does not rush the river. He forms it patiently, faithfully, in the hidden places first. The stream begins where no eye can see, where the roots of your soul stretch deep beneath the surface, drinking from unseen wells of mercy. And slowly, gently, it begins to rise. You see, before the water touches the land, it touches the soul. Before it floods the wilderness, it floods the heart. And when God speaks of doing a new thing, He is not only promising to change your surroundings, He is promising to change you. He is making you into someone who can carry peace even in desolate places. Someone who walks through wilderness with rivers of hope flowing within. Someone who doesn't just survive the desert but flourishes in it, because the source is not external, it is divine, it is internal, it is eternal. Forget the former things, He says. Not because they didn't matter, but because they are not the end of your story. Not because the pain wasn't real, but because healing has come. Not because the past was insignificant, but because the future is sacred. It's so easy to hold on to what was. The moments you thought would last forever. The dreams that died. The chapters that closed too soon. The losses that altered the shape of your soul. But your God is not finished. He is not limited by your yesterday. He is not bound by what you've known. He is not constrained by what you think is possible. He is doing something entirely new, something beyond your imagination. And yes, you might feel like you're still in the middle of nowhere. Still unsure. Still weary. Still hoping for a sign. But even here, in this in-between space, He is present. And His presence is the sign. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to know the entire path ahead. You only need to keep walking toward the sound of the stream, the whisper of the Spirit, the breath of the one who calls you beloved. The Lord is not simply giving you a path. He is the path. He is not simply pouring out water. He is the living water. And when He leads you, He doesn't just take you to blessing. He becomes your blessing. He doesn't just give peace. He is your peace. So drink deeply. Not from the shallow wells of the world. Not from the fleeting comforts that vanish like mist. But from the ever-flowing fountain of His goodness. From the endless river of His mercy. From the unshakable wellspring of His love. Even if others don't see it yet, even if it's only a trickle now, even if you're the only one who perceives it, hold on. Stay faithful. Keep walking. For what begins as a stream will become a river. What begins as a whisper will become a song. What begins in secret will one day overflow into your whole life. You are not wandering aimlessly. You are being guided. You are not lost. You are being led by the Shepherd of streams, the God who transforms dry land into places of abundance. Yes, even the wasteland will rejoice. Even the desolate places will bloom. For wherever He walks, life follows. Wherever He touches, new things begin. Can you feel it now? That soft rustling within? That stirring beneath the surface of your soul? That's not just your imagination. It's the Spirit awakening something in you. A hope you thought was gone. A promise you thought had expired. A dream you laid down long ago. But He never forgot it. He never abandoned what He planted. And now, in the perfect timing of grace, He is calling it forth again. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Not a return to what once was, but a resurrection into what can be. Something different. Something deeper. Something more beautiful than before. You've walked through fire. You've known drought. You've tasted sorrow. But now, living water flows. Let it wash over you. Let it carry away the residue of old fears and old failures. Let it nourish what still needs healing. Let it soak into every cracked corner of your heart, until you bloom again, not just in survival, but in holy fullness. You don't need to strive to make it happen. You don't need to force what only God can do. Just remain rooted in Him. Let your soul stay open, and the stream will find you. You see, He is not only working ahead of you, He is working within you. You are becoming the new thing, even now. You are becoming the testimony, the evidence of grace, the living proof that God brings beauty from desolation and joy from dust. And one day, when you look back on this season, the dry path, the quiet nights, the desert winds, you'll see it differently. You'll realize the stream was always there. That even when you didn't feel it, He was forming something glorious beneath the surface. You'll see the trail of grace behind you, the way in the wilderness, the water in the wasteland. And you'll say, He led me. He kept me. He did it. He made it new. Sometimes the greatest miracle is not in what changes around you, but what awakens within you. And perhaps this is the secret of the stream, that while you are longing for the external to shift, God is nourishing the internal first. Before He parts seas or rearranges circumstances, He waters the heart. Because He knows, dry seasons are not only about the environment, but about the soul's thirst. And so, He gently bends near, whispering truth to the places within you that have grown weary, brittle, or forgotten how to dream. Do you not perceive it? His voice still echoes, not in accusation, but in invitation. He is not asking to test you, but to awaken you, to stir your spiritual senses, to quicken your heart to the divine activity already taking place beneath the surface. Because often, new things begin quietly, slowly, subtly, like a stream inching its way through the hard earth. It starts with a shift in how you see, how you believe, how you listen for His voice even in silence. And when you perceive it, when you begin to recognize that this wilderness is not the end, but the soil of something holy, everything changes. Even if the land around you looks the same, you are different. Even if the terrain hasn't softened yet, your heart has. Even if the way ahead feels unclear, your spirit is aligned with the One who goes before you. The new thing is not always loud. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it begins as a quiet contentment, a subtle strengthening, a breath of peace where there used to be panic. Sometimes it's the grace to stay another day, the courage to hope again, the trust to rest while you wait. This, too, is His stream in the wasteland. And it's okay if others can't see it yet. It's okay if you don't have the words to explain it. The Spirit's work is often hidden before it is revealed, sacred before it is seen. And the river within you doesn't need the world's validation to be real. It just needs room to flow. So give it space. Make space for stillness. Space for silence. Space for sacred noticing. Let your soul be a sanctuary again, a place where the divine is welcome to dwell, even in the dust. Because He doesn't wait for perfect conditions. He plants beauty in barren places. He brings rivers to unlikely terrain. And if you felt like your life has been a desert, take heart. He specializes in blooming there. Your life may feel quiet now, hidden, small, but so do seeds before they grow. And within the quiet, something is germinating. A new tenderness, a deeper trust, a purer faith. The kind of faith that's not built on signs and wonders alone, but on stillness and surrender. Because anyone can believe when the rain is falling. But to believe before the rain, to trust before the flood, to keep your hands open while the soil is still cracked, this is holy faith. And the Lord honors that kind of faith. He meets it. He responds to it. He sends water. Not always in the way you expect, but always in the way you need. Sometimes it comes in the form of peace when anxiety would make more sense. Sometimes it's a word of truth that cuts through the lies. Sometimes it's comfort that wraps around you like a warm blanket in the cold. Sometimes it's clarity in confusion, or courage in fear, or hope that defies reason. It is always exactly what your soul thirsts for, even if your mind doesn't yet understand it. And slowly, that stream begins to widen. It starts shaping the terrain of your life, washing over old regrets, softening hardened edges, carving out paths you didn't see coming, refreshing weary places with grace after grace after grace. Can you feel it? The way the Spirit flows, never rushed, never forced, always faithful. The wilderness does not intimidate him. The dry ground does not stop him. In fact, it is often in the desert that his glory is displayed most vividly, because there is no other explanation for the stream but him. And one day, when the water becomes visible, when others begin to notice the fruit in your life, the peace in your eyes, the quiet joy in your spirit, they'll ask how it happened. They'll wonder what changed. And you'll simply smile and say, "He made a way." You won't need to defend the process. You won't need to explain the wilderness. You'll just point to the stream and say, "He did this." And it will be enough. Because he always finishes what he begins. He doesn't start rivers that dry up halfway. He doesn't leave streams incomplete. If he begins a flow of grace in your life, it is because he fully intends to bring it to fullness. So let him. Let the water run free. Let the Spirit flow where he will. Even if it takes you in unexpected directions. Even if it washes away the comfort of what you once knew. Trust the current. Trust the source. You are not being swept away. You are being carried forward. You are not drowning. You are being refreshed. You are not lost. You are being led. This is the way he works, not always loud, but always life-giving. Not always fast, but always fruitful. Not always visible, but always victorious. And you, beloved, are right where you need to be. You don't need to force what only he can form. Just stay soft. Stay open. Stay surrendered. And the stream will continue to flow. Rest for your soul. Matthew 11 verses 28 to 30. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. There is a quiet call that echoes in the deepest chambers of the weary heart. A whisper gentler than the wind, softer than the hush of night, yet more powerful than the clamor of anxiety and the roar of burden. It is the voice of the Savior, tender and strong, reaching into the restless corners of the soul, saying, "Come to me." Come, not because you have everything together. Come, not because you are strong. Come, because you are tired. Come, because you are burdened. Come, because you have been carrying loads your heart was never meant to bear. The world shouts for productivity, achievement, and performance, but Jesus whispers an invitation to rest, not just for your body, but for the soul that longs for stillness. This is not a rest that comes from escaping. It is not found in silence alone or the absence of noise. It is not the shallow kind of rest that disappears when trials return. This is the kind of rest that reaches into the core of your being, a deep soul rest, where peace flows like a river through the valleys of your heart. It is the rest that comes from being held, being known, being loved without condition or demand. Jesus sees the exhaustion behind your eyes, the nights you lie awake, thoughts racing like an unyielding tide. He knows the fatigue behind your smile, the ache beneath your strength, the heaviness you carry silently. And he does not scold you for being weary. He does not rebuke your weakness. He simply invites you near. Come to me. There is no prerequisite. No need to fix yourself first. You don't have to earn rest in his presence. You simply have to come. He is not asking you to perform. He is offering you a place to lay it all down. Your burdens, your anxieties, your fears, your striving. He invites you to surrender, not in defeat, but in trust. For his arms are open wide, his heart is gentle, his spirit is tender. And then, he speaks of a yoke, not a harsh restraint, but a holy alignment. Take my yoke upon you, he says, not to burden, but to guide. Not to control, but to walk beside you. The yoke of Christ is not a heavy harness, it is a shared journey. He walks in step with you, shoulder to shoulder. He carries the weight alongside you. He lifts what you cannot. And in this shared rhythm with him, you find a pace of grace. You find ease where there was strain. You find freedom where there was pressure. He is gentle and lowly in heart. He does not domineer. He does not push you beyond your limits. He meets you in humility, in tenderness, in kindness that never crushes. He leads you not with fear, but with compassion. He tends to your heart like a shepherd to his sheep, like a healer to the broken. He teaches you how to breathe again, how to walk in rhythm with peace instead of panic. And in His presence, you will find it. That elusive thing your soul has been chasing, rest. Not temporary relief, but enduring renewal. Not a pause, but a deep anchoring. Not a momentary comfort, but a lasting refuge. The kind of rest that reshapes your life, calms your spirit, and restores your strength. So come, lay it all down at His feet. Bring the weight of your worry, the ache of your waiting, the exhaustion of your striving. You were never meant to carry it all. There is a Savior who walks beside you, who knows your frame, who understands your weariness, and He is the rest your soul has longed for all along. He is rest in the wilderness. He is stillness in the storm. He is peace in the pressure. He is calm in the chaos. He is the shepherd who slows your pace and brings you to still waters. He is the gentle hand that steadies your trembling. He is the quiet place you can always run to. And when you learn from Him, when you walk with Him in the gentle rhythm of grace, you begin to see that life is not about how much you can carry, but how close you can stay to Him. He does not ask you to run faster. He asks you to walk with Him. He does not require performance. He desires presence. He is not building a life of pressure, but a life of peace. This is the rest for your soul. There is something sacred about slowing down in a world that constantly tells you to hurry. Something holy in choosing quiet over chaos, stillness over striving, presence over pressure. The rest Jesus offers is not just a pause, it's a return to the rhythm you were created for. It is not the rhythm of performance, but the pace of grace. When He says, "My yoke is easy," He is not promising that life will be without trials. But He is promising that the weight you carry will not crush you, because He is carrying it with you. He is promising that His way is lighter than the burdens this world lays upon your shoulders. His presence becomes your strength. His nearness becomes your rest. His gentleness becomes your healing. How many times have you tried to bear it all alone? How often have you felt the pressure to be everything for everyone, to hold it all together, to be strong when inside you're breaking? Jesus doesn't ask you to hold it all. He asks you to hand it to Him. He invites you into His rest, not just once, but again and again. This invitation is not a one-time offer. It's a daily rhythm. Morning by morning, evening by evening, moment by moment, He beckons, "Come to me." When your mind is overwhelmed, come. When your heart is heavy, come. When you're tired of pretending, come. When you don't even have the words to pray, come. His rest is not earned, it is embraced. It is a gift, not a goal. And He gives it freely to those who come with nothing but open hands and weary hearts. In His presence, burdens begin to break. Chains begin to loosen. Fear begins to quiet. It's not that the circumstances disappear, but the soul learns to rest in the One who holds all things together. You begin to breathe differently. You begin to live slower, deeper, fuller, not weighed down by the tyranny of urgency, but anchored in divine peace. And what does it look like to walk in that rhythm with Him? It looks like waking up not in anxiety, but in surrender. It looks like laying your plans at His feet before the day begins. It looks like inhaling grace and exhaling fear. It looks like choosing peace over panic, prayer over pressure, stillness over striving. It looks like trusting that even when things feel out of control, the One who holds your heart is still on the throne. His yoke is easy not because life is always easy, but because His presence makes the difference. When you walk with Jesus, even the valley is a place of peace. Even the wilderness becomes a place of worship. Even in the shadows, His light surrounds you. Even in weakness, His strength sustains you. And as you learn from Him, learn the way of gentleness, the way of trust, the way of grace, you begin to see your life transformed from the inside out. You begin to see that peace is not a destination, it's a person. Rest is not a place, it's a presence. The peace your soul craves is not found in a perfect situation, but in the arms of your Savior. So let your soul exhale. Let your shoulders drop. Let your heart be quieted. You don't have to prove anything here. You don't have to perform. You are not loved for your productivity. You are loved because you belong to Him. And He is enough. Enough for the weariness you cannot explain. Enough for the burdens you've carried in silence. Enough for the questions that keep you up at night. Enough for the pressure that makes your chest feel tight. Enough for the storms you didn't see coming. Enough for the valleys that still stretch before you. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are not unseen. You are not too broken to be restored, too weary to be revived, too far gone to be carried back into His arms. You are His, and He is your rest. So come again, weary soul. Come back to the One who never grows tired of holding you. Come to the quiet place where striving ends and grace begins. Come to the table of peace, where the burden is lifted and the heart is healed. Come to Jesus, and find rest for your soul. He will give His angels charge over you. Psalm 91 verses 11 to 12. There is a hush that settles over the soul when you remember, truly remember, that you are not walking alone. There is a divine covering wrapped over your life, an unseen shield surrounding your every step, an invisible guard that walks with you in the night and whispers peace into your days. For He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. They shall bear you up in their hands, lest you dash your foot against a stone. Psalm 91 verses 11 to 12. These are not just poetic lines tucked into an ancient psalm. They are promises etched into eternity, assurances spoken by the heart of God into the heart of His children. You are not forgotten in the silence. You are not defenseless in the dark. The God who commands the winds and calms the storms has appointed heavenly messengers to watch over you. Assigned, deployed, sent on divine assignment, not randomly, but precisely for you. Let your heart slow down and breathe that truth in. Even when you walk into rooms you didn't expect, even when you face moments you didn't foresee, even when danger hides in shadows you cannot perceive, He sees, He knows, He covers, He sends. Heaven's armies do not sleep. Heaven's watch does not waver. The angels He commands are not figments of imagination. They are real, holy beings, agents of His mercy and guardians of His children. You do not walk exposed in this world, not when your steps are traced by the footprints of those who are assigned to keep you in all your ways. Think of that. The angels of God are not only present in dramatic moments or rare miracles. They are near in the ordinary too. In your coming and going. In the mundane rhythm of your days. In the stillness of your nights. When you rise in the morning, there is watchfulness over you. When you close your eyes in sleep, there is heavenly vigilance beside you. And this covering, it is not earned. It is not because you are perfect, but because you are His. God has wrapped your life in layers of grace, and one of those layers is this divine protection, this appointed presence of angelic watchers who keep watch at His word. You may not see them, but they are near. You may not hear them, but they are active. You may not recognize their hands, but they are bearing you up, even now. Have you ever considered how many things you've been protected from that you'll never even know? The near misses. The unseen dangers. The accidents that didn't happen. The wrong turns you didn't take. The delays that frustrated you but were actually divine detours. What if all those moments were evidence of unseen guardians keeping you from dashing your foot against a stone? You may think it was coincidence, but heaven calls it providence. You may have chalked it up to luck, but heaven calls it protection. And when you look back over your life, the places you've walked through, the fires you've survived, the valleys you've crossed, the storms you've endured, you begin to realize there were hands holding you all along. Not just the hands of people who love you, but the hands of unseen protectors sent by a God who never leaves His own unguarded. God's love is not passive. It is protective. It surrounds you like a shield and sends help before you even know you need it. And those angels, they don't merely observe from afar. They intervene. They defend. They war on your behalf. They encircle you with holy vigilance. They do not sleep or falter. They are appointed by the One who holds all authority, and they obey His every word without delay. They are not there to draw your attention to them, but to draw your attention to the goodness of the One who sent them. He is the author of your protection, the keeper of your path, the sender of heavenly guardians. And even more than protection from physical harm, this promise speaks to a deeper spiritual truth. God guards your soul. He keeps your spirit. He surrounds your life with His presence so that even in the hardest seasons, you are not overcome. Even in the fiercest battles, you are not defeated. Even in the lowest valleys, you are not lost. Yes, Trials may still come. The path may still wind. The rain may still fall. But your soul is not unguarded. Your life is not unshielded. The angels of God still keep watch. When you lie in bed and your thoughts race. When the night stretches long and heavy. When fear whispers worst-case scenarios into your weary mind. Be still and remember, you are not alone. The same God who carried Elijah with a whisper, who stood with Daniel in the lion's den, who walked with the 3 in the fire, who calmed the wind with a word, he surrounds you now. He appoints his angels, and they move at his command. You are not left to fend for yourself in this life. You are protected, you are carried, you are covered. He will give his angels charge over you, not just for a moment, but for all your ways. That means every path you walk, every day you live, every step you take. His protection is active. It is not seasonal. It is not partial. It is not inconsistent. It is full, constant, and unwavering. And when you stumble, they will bear you up. When you falter, they will lift you. When the path is too steep and the pain is too deep, they will carry you through. Because you are His. You are the beloved of God, and no weapon formed against you shall prosper. No trap set against you shall stand. No scheme of darkness shall prevail. For the Lord is your keeper, and His angels your sentinels. So walk forward, not in fear, but in trust. Not in anxiety, but in assurance. You are not walking alone. You are surrounded by the shield of heaven, watched over by holy guardians, and loved fiercely by the one who commands them all. He will give His angels charge over you. He already has. And they are carrying you even now. Amen.